Let me tell you the time that Simple Simon danced with a girl and she left her essence on his leg.
Oh God!
Oh wow!
That sounds.
Why'd you
I got bare Simple Simon stories. You know?
So hold on.
I got bare Simple Simon stories.
You know them dances where you're up behind the woman and you're doing the grind, but this one is when I'm assuming that you were facing her and the legs are in between each other, innit?
Wait.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he knows this one. I got up with that guy because he understood what happened.
Like a standing scissor.
So basically, because back in the day,
Was it a super bad
back in
moment?
the day, Simple Simon was limbo, innit? He was still limbo them times there. The back wasn't pulling out the way he's pulling out these days, yeah. So he was whining with the girl. And Simple used to wear a nice trouser. They used to wear a proper church type trouser. So then, So then he finished whining with the girl now. And I'm like, what's going on, bruv? And then we looked at his leg.
Oh God!
What colour were the trousers? What colour were the trousers?
I was like a grey, I think it was.
Listen, that's a fantastic moment in life.
And she left like an essence on his leg.
Oh God!
He was proud.
And wet patch is a beautiful thing. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents and other small
Interruption.
insects. Welcome to another episode of the Eloquently Saying Nothing podcast. This is season 2, episode 65. Am I right?
Are you sure?
I'm not. That's what I'm asking. Am I right?
Yeah, 65. Because you edited last week, innit?
Yep.
Yeah, 65.
This is when you edit, innit? Hashtag ESN pod. At ESN Podcast on all your social medias. Find us, seek us, www.esnpodcast.com. We are about the place on the interwebs. I am your host, Stavros Boss. Happy to have you all here. And in the room with us tonight, we have that actor.
Oh, why are you starting with me?
Bitches. I work with bitches.
Oh, really?
At Big Wahala.
Let's not talk about that one.
What's good, people?
In the room, we have Big Wahala, and he's already given his introduction. We have Simple Simon.
Simple Simon's in the building. Today's Jamaican proverb is "Doppy know who fi frighten." Sounds quite simple. In easy translation, it means ghosts know who to scare, but in reality, it's a lot deeper than that. It touches on the idea that ghosts are actually real, and in their realness, they are omnipresent. And in that, they know who would be afraid of them if they were to reveal themselves.
Ghosts are real, man.
Know the things in the shadows.
Why are you trying to make it all nice when you know it's blatantly a threat?
It's not.
Alright.
They're coming for people that are scared.
It's used as a threat, but it's not a threat.
Okay.
Originally, it's not a threat.
All right. Which one of the divas that loves to go last wants to go first?
What are you talking about, bro? I don't like to go
Mr.
last.
Wolf. We also have Mr. Wolf in the room.
Flipping heck. Easily upset Stavros today.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. Yoruba proverb today is we should focus on where we are going, not where we had fallen. And that means focus and be forward looking, let go of past failures and hurts.
Wonderful.
Boom.
The second member of the Sparkles group.
Bust.
That actor.
And what I was going to do that I didn't do
Go on.
this week is that I was really supposed to do it in Yoruba.
Oh, go on then.
No.
I can reintroduce you and you can do it properly.
Nah.
No, because you said last week you were going to do it,
I
innit?
know, but my failure this week is that I haven't been able to
Translate
this one.
No problem.
But I will do that next week.
You're
the people
forgiven.
that are keeping out.
I'm sure the masses listening forgive you. Mr. Sparkle. Beyonce. That actor.
Time. They say you heal all wounds, but they don't talk about all the destruction you do in the world. You turn beauty into ash. Well, I think that's bullshit. If death is destruction and love is creation, I'm just the terrain in between. You don't understand time. Nobody understands time. I think Einstein said it best, when time is just an illusion. What's going on, people? It's your boy, the actor.
Hey, you that brethren.
And it though.
So much better than the last two.
Thank you very
man.
much.
And
it
it yeah, I'm feeling that, man.
Thank you, the actor. We also have the special guest in the room. We have, I'm going to let you know, we have Tracey.
Hello.
And we have Wayne.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. You have to speak up, Wayne. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Wayne and Tracey are, well, Wayne's friend of the podcast. He's known us, or most of us, for over, a long time, man. 2 decades.
Yeah, 20 years at least.
Coming around 2 decades. And Tracey is the better half. She's from Ghana, so all you Ghanaians listening, she is going to defend and rep Ghana. You know, she lived there half of her life. She speaks all the languages,
Why are you
and
doing
she.
this?
I'm tossing Tracey under the bus. She is a Ghanaian, but she's a fake one. But she's lovely.
Oh, that's not
wow.
nice.
Oh, she's, you know.
Hey, Wayne will get you, you know.
Yeah.
Wayne will get you, you
Wayne's
know.
looking to launch over that.
Wayne will get you. Out of everyone here, out of everyone you could have invited, Wayne will get you. But anyway,
Steph, are you on your Reds today?
he is, man.
Yes, he is.
Well,
Stav is the S in LGBTQ.
I like that.
But there is no S in it. But okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
Man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sensitively, a man like me.
I am the clitoris. And I get easily upset when you tell me that I'm wrong. Ooh, baby.
All you do is touch me, and I get crazy.
When you tell me that I'm wrong, you need a man with
sensitivity. A man like me.
Please don't insult me.
You know my guy done shirtless them times.
No,
there.
wait.
My guy done shirtless with that big what's it called that he's got on his chest.
We're still in the Tracy intro, you know. You lot are rude to the lady.
That's what I'm saying.
How
Man.
you interrupt Tracy?
Sorry, Trace.
So
She's not as sensitive as him. That's why we can do that.
There was a little, small diss thing during
we can get to that later.
during the afternoon, but it's all good.
Wayne and Tracey, would you like to tell us about yourselves for the people that are listening? First time hearing you. What would you like them to know about you?
Yeah, so I'm Wayne. I work in the city as a web developer. I've known Stav and Wahala for 20 years. Yeah, not interesting.
You're a web developer.
Yeah.
All this time.
Yeah, he's a very good one as well, actually, and graphic designer.
All this time.
Yeah, well, you know, that's another issue, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Trace?
I told you we don't use our network well.
I am Wayne's partner.
Whoop whoop.
This is the first time I've ever been on a podcast. I work in retail.
You don't have to say anything else,
That's
man.
cool,
Don't worry
man.
about
Oh,
it.
okay.
Cool. That's cool. That's enough. Sorry to put you on the
Nah,
spot.
I don't
like
trust
that.
her.
It sounded like
I
she
don't
was
trust her.
auditioning for.
Why don't you trust her?
I don't trust her. She sounds like
Sure.
she's the original plug. You remember Gustavo Fring? Yeah?
Oh my days! Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
On
that.
Breaking Bad, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it's like that.
No, it is like that.
Yeah.
For real.
It's like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Gustavo was he
Gustavo
basically
was-
he was basically a man that was selling chicken, but he wasn't selling chicken, bro.
He
Palos
wasn't selling chicken.
Humanos.
He wasn't selling chicken.
Well, he was selling chicken.
He was, but he was
that's
selling.
not all he was doing.
He wasn't
man.
all that selling, boy.
When we have couples on this podcast, the dude usually throws the woman under the bus.
Well, I feel like he is right now.
So,
So,
well-
No, I'm just trying to get her to be truthful because right now she's not going to swear or nothing. And yeah,
So she is what? Drug dealer.
we-
You're saying
we-
that she's a drug dealer.
We know you like
Wow.
to swear, don't we?
Palos Humanos.
I swear a little bit.
Well, she does work in retail.
Wow. Are we talking around the woman as if the woman is not actually sitting there?
You guys are mansplaining again, just like you did last week. It was disgraceful.
You went to go and mention that word, and then people went to go and say, "Oh, you lot are mansplaining," but we weren't actually even mansplaining.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me not start. Cause
is mansplaining when a man talks on behalf of the woman.
yeah, in a way. Or we're trying to explain what women think about or what they do, and men are not allowed to have opinions on women. We just have to shut up and listen to them. Apparently,
Sounds about right.
I don't know why though.
Sounds accurate.
I don't know why. Whenever we talk, they have to say something, but we can't say nothing back,
Mm-hmm.
You always get it in though, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
as you should do.
Bet he does.
First up,
Oi, oi.
All right. So let's see. Where should we start?
1 second now, before we do.
Go on.
I just want your proverb. It confused me because the explanation was literal.
Yeah.
So that's not really a proverb then. That's just explaining something now.
I see what you mean.
You said that Duppy know who fi frighten. in the worst accent ever. And the explanation was ghosts know who to frighten. That's not a proverb then. is
No,
it?
that was a direct translation. That was a translation bit.
Okay.
And the proverb bit is the idea that apparitions do actually exist. And actually, no, you're right. You're very right, actually. Good observation. He's right. It's not a
But you
proverb.
did give a kind of...
No, I gave an explanation, but it's not a proverb.
What's the definition of a proverb?
A proverb is abstract to a point, whereas this is the actual point explained.
No, you gave a. All right, okay, fair enough. Let me not jump in there. I'll leave the Caribbeans
Good observation.
to deal with their own.
Where you from, Wayne?
Well, I was born here. My family's from St. Lucia.
You are St. Lucian.
Gas, sir.
That's it.
All right, and you know what? On the interwebs recently, we might as well just jump in this then. I've heard people arguing that they don't want to be called Caribbean,
I've heard that.
and then obviously on the other side they said they don't want to be called West Indian either. So now that we have one fully fledged, because Simple Simon's only half, and in fact the Nigerian side takes up 3/4 anyway. So, what is your view on it, people? Because I don't know what I would call somebody from. I mean, well, I did ask you a question actually. I did put up a poll on our ESN Twitter page, and I asked what would you like, and then one of the options was just call me from the country where I'm from. You don't need to bracket the whole thing under some sort of subcontinent kind of thing, which is fair enough. But if somebody was to address you like that, Wayne, what do you think?
I think currently it's fine because it's a new issue, if you get what I mean. So half caste, well, mixed race people were being called half caste for many, many years. And it was only when someone pointed out that it was an issue that it took them a little while, and then it was, it's very offensive. Same with, I don't even know what to call them now, but Oriental people. Apparently Oriental is now offensive.
East Asian.
Well, yeah, East Asia. Right, so I think it's too new of an issue for me. Like, I'm used to being called Caribbean, West Indian, whatever. So, I don't know. Ask me in a year.
What's the difference between a Caribbean and West Indian? What's the difference?
Well,
Nothing is like, well, the Indies, we have like the East Indies, which would be like Asia and so on, and the West is in the West.
Yeah, I think
So-
Sorry to...
But from my understanding, the areas I believe are the same. So I think that's the actual answer to your question. I think the areas, the actual, and the landmass they cover, from my understanding, it's the same. Not that I've done any research on it. But I think calling someone West Indian is based on a fallacy, because obviously it's called West Indies because somebody thought it was, the western part of India. They thought they were going to one place, they ended up somewhere else, and they kind of named it incorrectly.
Wasn't it Columbus?
No.
Columbus does that for all the time, isn't it?
Caribbean,
That's where they found America.
and the Caribbean that's the area, isn't it? It's the Caribbean area, so they bracket all the places that are there. It's not just.
But who gave that name?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Dave.
Wasn't it a Carib people though?
It was a Carib people, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's why they named it after them, no?
Okay.
But then now it counts everybody.
I don't know. I can't really talk on it because I'm not from there, but I can understand, like, when people just call you African, it can be sometimes problematic depending on how they're saying it. If they say you're just African, you'd be like, well, which one? So, you know what I mean?
This one.
So I know that when we was at in fact he was with me when we went to the podcast thing, and Andrew Schultz kept on saying Africans, and everybody's like, which Africans are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many different types of Africans, you can't just say the Africans, because which Africans are you talking about? So it depends on the contents, I suppose, with regards to whether or not you need to actually identify the actual country. As we know that Jamaica obviously is the Nigeria of the Caribbean, and most of the other countries don't like to be associated with them.
He said Jamaica is the Nigerian of the Caribbean.
Some would argue that point. But
Yeah, and they don't want to be associated. And a lot of them do not want to be associated with the Jamaicans. So they want to be classified as I am from St. Lucia, or I am from Trinidad, or I am from any other island that's like a dot. But they want to be identified, isn't it? But we all know that most people think of them as Jamaicans.
Wow.
Because that's the biggest known island there.
Simple.
So I can get it why people do that.
Do you have a preference? Do you have a problem? Because I understand the West Indian problem. I get that one totally. But the Caribbean one, I
did
don't
make a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Columbus days.
I should have done some research before I bought this. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, no. I don't know if I'm not mortally offended by any of these things, but to be honest with you, West Indies is a very bad description, and it shouldn't really have stuck. the Caribbean, I don't know. I just don't have enough offense for it, if that makes sense. I just don't have enough deep-seated emotion about that. It's not a problem.
Do you think people should go out their way to try and find out which country the people are from, though?
I think you should always do that investment when you're talking about somebody's heritage.
I think with the Caribbean, people are not as gung-ho as with doing that. For me, I think it's a bit of an issue with that. I think people are just happy to just group them together and not bother to,
You think so?
find out. Yeah, I think so. I don't think that many people ask what part of the Caribbean are you from. They just assume that you're Caribbean and just leave it as so.
What's the population of all these places?
Not a lot.
Yeah, it's not big.
So I mean, if you like,
I can't remember numbers, but St. Lucia, when we was there, I knew the
It's
population,
like
but it was
500,000,
small. Yeah, it's tiny.
Something mad like that.
So it's like 1/16 the population of London.
That's why they call them small islands.
500,000 or something like that.
That's why they call them small islands.
You're lucky if you get 500,000 people there.
Goddamn, 40. Maybe that's why then, innit? It's like there's not enough of you for us to like even worrying about.
Imagine that, and we gave you reggae music. Imagine that.
That's not a blessing for me.
Oh my God.
We're not gonna go down the.
It doesn't. Of course, it's a blessing for you. No reggae music, no hip hop. Bye bye.
That's true.
I don't.
Shut up there now.
I don't believe that. I don't believe
try
that.
But that's the truth, though.
Apparently, the
no.
population of the Caribbean, as of 2009, obviously more people have been born, but 39 million, 39.1.
You have to remember that Dom Rep and
Yeah.
Cuba,
Cuba
all
and
those places.
yeah,
39.1. 2000 and what? 8.
Yeah, just
Guyana,
about 9
they're all
years ago.
considered Caribbean.
That
Is
even,
Cuba
that,
part of
that doesn't
the
even include.
Caribbean?
That doesn't even include all of Cartel's children. Then.
All right.
So what's happening, Stavros boss?
Okay.
Speak
Seeing
to
as
us.
we have a couple here, are you engaged or are you married? I can't remember.
Engaged.
Engaged.
Ah,
When's
congratulations.
the wedding? Am I invited?
No, not anymore.
Oh Lord! Have you got a date?
Tell him that he can.
No, but it'll be next year.
Tell him that he can come, but he can't bring his children.
Oh, standard. Yeah, standard.
Oh,
Where are people supposed to leave their children?
Listen, African girl, yes. So tell him because
That's
these people
it.
like to be just dashing children all over the place. You can't just dash a child somewhere.
I hate when I'm at weddings and I've had a bit to drink and you get the little boys doing the knee slide on the floor.
But
I
And
love
you
that.
got to step over them.
I love that.
That's where you're going wrong. You don't step over
But
them.
where are they supposed to
you
leave
step
their
on them,
children?
boy.
Step
Lag
on
on
them.
and step on the
At
child.
someone else's house. Leave them.
Someone else's house.
I told you, Caribbeans and Africans think differently about this.
I don't think so.
Well, clearly right now they do.
Yeah, this in this situation, I wouldn't just group the whole of the Caribbean to be one
I
week.
do hope. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Wayne is just trolling you lot.
No.
He don't want
In
children
what
at his
sense?
wedding.
I mean, if you have to, but I don't like. I think there's certain
really
things
doesn't
they
like
don't
it.
like. They serve no purpose. They're there
Wow.
popping balloons. Kids at weddings are there popping balloons. That's
Man
what
said,
they're there for, and they knee slide while you're trying to dance and trying to carry your drinks and food over to someone, and they're knee sliding.
You have to remember that as these lot don't spray in it because the Nigerians we use them to pick up the money. That's at least something that they do.
They
as
got
a
a
job.
function.
They got a function at least, and to serve as well. We have no problem in making a
See,
children
that's
serve.
cool then. Yeah, but
All right.
well, if they're old enough to serve, then they're not like 4, so they're past knee sliding.
See, this is the problem. Nigerians will use the 4-year-old to serve. So I don't know what you're talking about. Go and get me this. From the time you're old enough to move your fingers or whatever, you're old enough to collect
I will
something.
send a 4-year-old to get me something.
Oh, well, okay.
I do it to
Why
my niece
not,
all the
man?
time, boy. Yeah, get me this.
All right. So the question is, Tracey, would you are you gonna change your surname? Have you had this discussion?
I think I'd do double barrel.
Oh, I hate double barrel
Why?
because it's a nonsense.
Why?
Because then what's gonna happen with the children?
What if they
They
double
can do
barrel as
double
well?
barrel.
Yeah, and then okay, so your double barrel child, your beautiful child that happens in the future, meets somebody else that was in the same situation as you and has a double barrel name. Then what? The 4 surnames. What did they do?
gunshots all over
Put
the
them
place.
all on the birth certificate. People do that all the time.
You wanna
It
have
reads
been
out
for years.
4
like
surnames.
5 names.
4 surnames. So they just become Nigerian now.
What?
Yeah,
The birth certificate with 18 names.
18
Mm.
names.
They-
Why not?
Do you have any brothers?
That's an
No.
African woman right there. That's an African woman.
I think,
She
yeah,
said,
but
why not?
that
Well,
might
that's fair enough.
that
That's a
might
good
be
question.
a factor in the decision that you want to make. The decision to have a double barrel name. The fact that you haven't got any brothers to carry the family name.
There you go.
You're just giving an
I hadn't
answer.
thought
Did you
about
tell you that?
There was a question mark behind it.
Ah.
Is that so? Is that an issue?
I think it is actually because I don't have any brothers. There would be no one. We'd all get married off, take
Hang
our
on.
husbands' surnames.
With all, how many sisters do you have?
3.
Wow.
Do you have a problem with the double barrel?
No, not at all. Because I'm quite attached to my name.
So what if your name was not last? Would it be an issue?
Not really. Like, I don't really care.
So how can you be quite attached to your name
No.
and then not get?
In the sense of I don't want to give up my name, so I can understand why she would feel the same.
Okay.
And I mean,
Oh, okay.
she's not in such a bad place because like I'm fully orphaned and her mum's died, but my mum wasn't married to my dad, so my surname comes from my mum, and my mum's gone. So to give up my surname feels like to give up my mum in a sense.
Okay,
So I can understand people not wanting to give up their surname.
that's a good angle.
I've actually got a colleague at work who double barreled with his wife, well, his ex-wife, and
He kept
and
it.
then divorced. But he kept his name because he wanted to have the same name as his kids.
Oh.
But it's very interesting because he's since married, and his new wife
Has got his
has
ex-wife
his
name.
ex-wife name as part of the double
Boy,
barrel.
I'll throw at her every time I see her.
Mad. Yeah.
Look at my name, bitch.
Damn. That's
And
a
remember
goddamn
who was here
47
before you.
moment,
Innit?
bro.
Take my name, bitches.
Wow.
So do you think the second wife was just pure coincidence, or do you reckon he was just like trying to uphold this name thing?
He's trolling his new wife.
What do you mean coincidence?
Well, like the name's exactly the same. as
No,
his-
no, bro.
No,
No, bro.
He married her
she
and
took
she
his
took
name.
his name,
She took
which
the
was a
double
double
barrel
barrel.
Look at him.
Yeah. And then he said his next wife had the same.
No.
The new wife,
No.
the new wife, took the double barrel name.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's mad.
The
Welcome
new
back.
wife has the same name as the old wife.
No, I couldn't do that.
Peak.
That's deep, man.
All right, let me just explain something. I've actually burst my eardrums with that laugh. In Japan, the law is that once you get married, somebody has to give up their surname. You must have the same surname. They don't care if it's man or woman, but you must have a uniform surname. None of this double barreling thing. And in Quebec, in Canada, the woman is not allowed to take the man's name.
Wow.
And the reason that is law in that part of Canada is because they don't want a woman such as Tracey to feel that I must give up their name. So they don't do it, whereas because obviously in the UK and America you have the choice. You can keep your name, you can double barrel it, you can change it, do what you want. But I guess they're so leftist or so adamant that they want the woman to have I don't even understand, because they say because they don't want the woman to feel they have to give it up, you can't give it up.
So they remove their rights completely.
So,
Yeah,
so
effectively,
can
yeah.
the man take her name?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I
Well-
know specifically women cannot take the man's name.
Well,
when they
that's
get
not an
married.
issue. It's like surely it's not that much to change your name by deed poll, which you can both do before the wedding.
I guess if it's that important, then you would do it that way. But it's just interesting that they just put a law. I would like to know the history behind it. Actually, like what happened for somebody to say, you know, it's like we have children arguing in front of you. You know, like, none of you can have the toy. It's just like forget it. Don't do it then. And then what do you think about the Japanese method? Just one surname.
Maybe it has something to do with the fact they have quite long names.
Computer system
Do it?
probably couldn't hack it.
I don't know.
Double barrel Japanese name, computer system crashing
But
all
it's
over
just
the place.
they use symbols in it. It's quite different than how their.
Because their first and last name is not Han Lee. It's Han. It's like the Brazilian names as well. You know, the Portuguese ones, their names
I'm
go
sure Lee's
on forever.
Chinese.
It's all the same, innit? It's all the same, mate.
Wouldn't it be crazy just to have a whole nation of Chans?
There is like a big population of Chans though.
But-
Yeah, but if everybody's taking that last name and you can't change your last name,
Are Chans Japanese?
That's again.
I don't know who Chans are.
They're Chinese again.
What's the Japanese surname?
We don't know.
Yamamoto.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's like the.
So a nation of
people from Iceland.
Yamamotos.
It's the same as Iceland, isn't it? Is it Iceland?
What happened in Iceland?
No, the Japanese people in Iceland.
John Sons or is it Sons or Berg or
Oh yeah, everything's sons.
yeah, Son.
And the son, John's son,
Okay.
Joseph's son,
yeah.
Mana Man son,
Johan's son.
Johan's son, Wagwan's son.
Can I ask that actor
Random son.
if
Yes.
if this is too private or personal because you're in a relationship, then by all means tell me to rack off.
Rack off.
I do like that word, by the way.
What, rack off?
Yeah.
I love it. Do you have a reference on this with your missus? I'm gonna ask all of you, by the way. So if you don't want to, just wave me off now. Like I
Ask me,
don't.
man. I don't business.
Is this an issue for you in a relationship? Would you be happy? Oh, well, let me speak up first. Then my wife took my name, but in the beginning she was saying she was going to keep her name, and after the initial squint, I said, all right, and fair enough, because she had a Ghanaian name. She's very pro Ghanaian, and she wanted to keep it.
Her name was Japanese.
My name is not Nigerian. Unfortunately, I have a Welsh name, and she wanted to keep her Ghanaian name instead of moving over to a European name, which for me, I didn't even really have a problem with that, really. As much as I wanted her to have my name, but I get the thing about the European name. So I said, all right, and cool. As the wedding got closer, she said, no, she's going to change it. And that was that. But I did say, whatever you're doing is cool, but we're no double barreling my children. It's my name. So you can do what you want to do, but if you want to have a different surname than the child, that's your business. That's all. So that was my situation.
I think that's heavily influenced the decision.
What, to change?
To have your name. She would want the name of her children.
I did throw that little what's it called when you that little dig in there. It's like, well, if you want to have a different, because as it stands now, she still she hasn't changed her passport yet, because she changed everything else except the passport, because you have to pay for a whole new one, and you don't get the extra years. So if your new passport is 10 years, if you got 9 years left on your passport and I just want to change the name, then it's like it's 9 years.
And they say that it's the Nigerians that do the 419 and the fraud. Where did this Ghanaian fraud come from with passports now?
No. I mean, okay, she had a passport. Let's say it had 5 years left on it. You got paid for the whole 10 years, but you still got 5 years.
Yeah, but she's traveling under a false name now, isn't she?
No. Oh, yeah, but everybody knows that. But the point is now, wow. The situation is that sometimes they look at the passport and it's like, oh, and then it's a difference because you don't have the child's name. So there was a situation, I can't remember which country we were, but they put me and my daughter together and the wife separate, because, well, clearly you've separated yourself from them too. So stand separately and do your own thing because you have a different name.
Wow.
That's it.
I mean, I suppose it's deeper for her as well, because she has a Christian first name. So now she's got a fully European sounding name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Whereas you've got like a you've got a Nigerian first name. So you're all right.
Caribbean as well.
You lot credit score should have gone up high now, boy.
Yeah. Well, you saw my credit score the other day.
Yeah, see, there you go.
You know what?
Fantastic.
It's not you.
I want to touch on that. On that.
We all talk of that, because that tweet you said was actually quite funny. So that actor, go on.
Cool. We have spoken about it, and
hold on.
Whoa.
They have spoken about names after marriage.
You lot kind of like this man's not mature. He's a mature guy.
God damn for this.
Old and mature, two different things.
Oh my god.
oh, I prefer seasoned, but it's okay. No, we have spoken about it, and
Chicken
because of her
Paprika.
all purpose. Because of her family and the tradition of her family, it's more likely it'll be double barreled, but my name's going first.
Oh my god.
The name should go last.
Your name's supposed to go last.
I want my name first. So when she says her name, she says my name first.
Okay.
And it's so long they can't even bother to get to the second part.
Exactly. They get tired.
I hear that. I hear that logic, bro.
That's interesting.
It's like them. What is it? Sri Lanka. They have some
Oh my
mad long names.
gosh.
Bruv.
Yes.
Their names are like the whole alphabet, just in different order.
Big up the Sri Lankans.
Is that the same in the Malay culture as well, isn't it?
Mali.
No, Malay.
Should I know what that country is? I don't know.
Man said Mali, you know.
Malaysia, bro.
Oh, okay. So Malaysians are called.
Malays.
Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry.
Mayonnaise.
You learn something new every day, bro.
When you had this discussion, did you have a problem with it in the beginning?
No, not really.
So it's no issue for you.
It wasn't an issue, no.
As long as she took your name in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, after she took, her foot off my neck, it was all cool.
As long as we know she beats you, that's
So-
specific.
She doesn't beat me.
So in their culture,
sure
what does that mean then? In their culture, they don't take the man's name.
No, they would usually, but because of her family, her actual family, not the
Her
family
man.
culture.
Okay, what is so different between her family and the rest?
Is it a village or?
It's the
what?
village, yeah.
Okay.
So the village, do the whole village do the same thing?
She's
Yeah.
a chief's daughter, isn't it? It's a
Yeah,
chief's.
no, the family name's a big family. It's a very
It's
important
because
family.
you're Nigerian and they don't want a Nigerian name.
Yeah, well, that's
You know,
too-
down there, they don't
that's
like
too
us Nigerians.
They don't
I've
like
done
that.
infiltrated, so it's too late now.
Yeah, don't
They
like
do
her.
not like Nigerians down there.
Simple,
Nigerians anywhere.
simple
We got
Simon.
bad rep.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, but we're everywhere though, so
prawn.
it doesn't matter.
space.
You're a prawn in their eyes.
What was it you said? We could go to Mars and there'll
They'll
be
be there.
Nigerians
Nigerian
and Chinese.
Yeah. Shorted.
It's true.
Shotting and building.
Yeah.
Simple.
What would I? No, see, we've had this conversation
Uh-huh.
and it went. I was very mature about it. I was just like, just gonna have my name in it. It's just let's not even. I don't want to hear anything. And she was like, well, why not? Why? You know, what's the possibility? Why wouldn't you want to take my name? And it's like the way my village works, and this is real stories. The way my village works in Nigeria,
Everything is about the village.
yeah, because that's where that's the foundation.
Heritage.
That's the base.
Hashtag Mourinho heritage.
You see what I'm saying? That's the base. So with the way the village works is, you have to have the surname for the inheritance. That's it. You have to have the surname for the inheritance. My children have to have the surname.
Your surname is not an English name either. So anyway,
It's not an English name.
If that person didn't want to evolve themselves with you, they should have evolved themselves with your side. That's what I said.
But that's it. It's one of them things.
That's in Igbo land.
That's it. It's Igbo land behavior. So even in our tradition, it's the boys that inherit. And then the girls obviously are expected to marry out of the family. But even within our tradition, we have a caveat in the law that says if the woman doesn't marry out at all, she's still entitled to some stuff because her surname is the surname. My name is my name. So that was the end of that.
Mr. Wolf.
Do you need to ask? Yes. Calm down, love.
I asked, yes. And you did actually even ask me to ask you earlier on as well.
Yeah. Nah, for me, I'm an old-fashioned guy, innit? Just taking my last name. That's it. It's not even-
Okay, what if you meet a woman, you know, everything's Chris, whatever, and then when it comes to wedding time, she's like,
It'll
I'm not taking your name.
A conversation, very early conversation. It's one of the boxes, though.
So if a woman said she ain't taking your name, you wouldn't marry that woman.
I wouldn't trust her.
Wow.
When will you marry?
Are you trolling?
I'm trolling.
No, so it's real question, real talk.
Nah, look. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
You're old enough now, clearly, to say I would be with a woman if she didn't take my name, because if
I don't think you can say those things though, man, until you're in the situation.
Mr. Wolf has come a
met
long
a
way.
really good woman, and that's the only thing that's not well, not
For a
the
short
only,
person.
but that was like a negative. Come on now, that's not a reason to not be with somebody, is it?
I think it kind of suggests something about how you feel about the woman if the name's really going to get in the way. So you meet someone that's really you feel a real connection to, and she says, "I'm not going to take your name." You're like, okay, next.
I don't know if it says something about the woman, but it definitely says something about you.
It says something about how you feel about her.
No, it says it says that I feel more better about myself than I do about you, or I feel more importantly about myself than I do about you.
Maybe it means, like Wayne's saying, I don't feel any importance in you. Like you're not more important than that issue.
Isn't that what I just said?
No, you're looking at it internally. He's looking in the mirror and saying, I am so important that, you know, I'm not willing to allow any woman to overcome this. Whereas I think what Wayne is saying is that if you meet somebody and she is important enough, then you can look at the other person and say, even though this is something I don't want, you I love and care enough about, that I will not forego this relationship for that.
In your relationship,
and the woman could do exactly the same.
in your relationship, who's more important out of you and the person?
For me, the other person is more important, isn't it?
As a caveat, sorry, I thought I should have mentioned this earlier. If my missus didn't want to take my surname in that marriage situation, I would insist that the children had my surname, just for the reasons of her inheritance.
What if that wasn't a factor then?
Well, if the inheritance thing
There's
wasn't a factor,
no such thing as that in your village. Or you're going to get the money either way.
my pride wouldn't like it. But if that is the one thing that has to be done, like if that's the one thing that I have to concede, I'm never fucking conceding it. That's it. I'm gonna tell you that now.
I couldn't deal with a woman saying that the child is going to have her name, not mine. Oh, no.
What about you, Wahala?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
No.
Yeah, on the other foot, it stinks, but that's it, man.
I think the only time that I would really, I mean, Wayne brings up a good point, and we kind of have to worship our partners in some sense. We spoke about that. We love our partners so much that we're gonna go into marriage. Yeah, worship. We spoke about that. But anyway, we're willing to formulate a union, get married, and live our lives together and have families in it. So if you've got to that point, I would seriously consider the fact of having a double barrel name if she really wanted it because of the love.
You would take a double barrel?
If it came down to the fact that she said, listen, I'm not doing this married unless, then I would seriously I would consider it. But like I said at the beginning, I'm not about the whole double barrel thing, and you know, I'm not about it, man.
Man said she could rack off.
She can rack off, man.
I'm not about it. I mean, I would dig my heels as far as they can go.
Oh well, that shows a maturity in you that clearly I don't have. So okay, well done, Mr. Wolf.
It's an important issue though. People think it's minor, but I don't know. I don't like for people who think it's not minor. I don't understand why they think it's a minor.
What names?
Yeah,
names are important, man.
They're very important.
My first and my last name is of Yoruba heritage, you know, and I would want my children to have my last name.
My name is my name.
Simple things.
Big Wahala.
I fluctuate in this situation a lot. Like you just take my name because that's what you're supposed to do, man. But then I'm also like, I don't even like my own last name, so why do I want you to have it?
Oh yeah,
I understand your wife.
I didn't ask you to understand that. Sit down.
No, sorry, Stavros. Sorry, I understand where Stavros' wife is coming from, so it kind of equates to what you're saying as well.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Because your missus has an African surname.
Yeah, exactly. And she has said to me, you know, she wants to carry the father's name. But I said to her, you got two brothers, they can carry the name. No, you ask you to add your load to the load. Somebody else is there to carry. But then I don't know. It's just like I don't like my surname. The other day, my boss actually asked me, "Why is your name that?" And when I told him the answer, I was thinking, I can't know the answer. I'm like, duh. And he's like, when I told him, he's like,
I don't know what is the answer because I don't know.
There's two answers, isn't it? There's two reasons why. Yeah.
Go on.
One, in Nigeria at the time, for you to go to a Christian school or to be a Christian in a certain area in time, you had to change your name to a Christian name. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that could potentially be another one.
All right.
And the other one is slavery.
There's a third option.
Which is what?
That some people, I saw this when I watched the episode of Who Do You Think You Are? No. There was in Nigeria when we changed our name, as far as I know. And who's that dude that got in trouble for saying the thing about the Jews on the other podcast?
Reggie Yates.
Yeah, so they did about Who Do You Think You Are with him, and they went back into his history, and obviously he's got Ghanaian in him, so they'll find out that basically when the people when his ancestors were trading. So the Europeans came over there to trade. Obviously, you had the people. What do they call the people that come over bring the
missionaries?
The missionaries. They came over, but people were trading as well. So the man's come set up businesses, and some people, you know how afraid I am that this is what the case is with us. Some people, when they started working with these people, Oyibo, they changed their name. No, not the missionaries.
Colonizer.
They've bought businesses and they've bought their businesses over. They're dealing with sugar cane. And now they changed their name to the person that they're working with.
Damn.
Like slavery.
That's not slavery. They have made that choice. They're working.
No,
with
I was saying it's like slavery because that's what they did, isn't it? You go to whenever you work for one
But
of the
that's-
families,
yeah,
you
you
change
take
your
the
name.
slave master's name.
So
Same mentality, isn't it?
speak.
You take,
Ma-
the, yeah,
so-
you take,
so
you take
they
the boss's
offered
name.
to change their name.
Yeah, massa. I want to take your name.
That don't sound right.
Listen. Unfortunately, the
it
mentality
developed,
of some people in some places
Massa
is that they like, put it this way, they don't teach Yoruba in schools in Yoruba land. They teach you English. They tell some parents in Nigeria and Yoruba land will tell their children off for speaking Yoruba. Speak English.
Wow.
They don't. It's like, so they're ashamed of who they are, and this is a thing that's been passed on.
and that's Yoruba. They ain't got it that bad. Igbos, my people, it's bad. It's really bad to the point where there was a BBC documentary about it, about how the Igbo language is dying out because don't teach the younger generation.
I think it's just as bad.
And Igbo people,
I don't think it's as bad as
it's not. But Igbo people's bad, and
It's just that there's more
we
of
learn
us.
other people's languages over our own.
It's
So-
just that there's more of us.
No, you will see Igbo people that are speaking 3 or 4 different languages,
That's true.
and none of them are their own.
I know.
That's just
I
how-
know a lot of Igbos that can speak Yoruba, Hausa,
The thing about
but the other way around, not many Yorubas.
the thing about Yoruba though is that even as much as people may not speak it, it's still like the largest speak or the most known language in Nigeria. So even now, because it's become quite mainstream, Nigerian culture is becoming mainstream in certain areas. Even people that are not Nigerian know parts of Yoruba, so it's picking up in certain aspects.
And that's
But-
what he's saying about sheer number. Just because the Yoruba tribe is bigger than all the
So
rest of them.
it's picking up in certain numbers. So I don't think that we're as bad as the Igbos, but it is still quite bad.
But the Fulani men are coming, boy.
And this is something that I appreciate about, because as much as I dub Ghanaians all the time, I have been there. and unlike certain Ghanaians, you know, and
Wow.
I just
Yeah, hold on, guys. Say what you're saying. Because their first names always seem to be English.
they well, I forget the name thing. I'm talking about the language. They pass on their language, so they have three main. Do you know what the three main ones are, Tracy? Like the sources, they got it's the Akan
English.
Fanti.
Twee,
no,
Gar,
they
Fanti.
they come from like Akan.
Yeah, Akan is, yeah.
and I think Gar comes from Akan. I'm not sure.
No.
I don't want to miss.
Akan is a group of languages, isn't it? As well.
Yeah.
Is it something you drink out of?
But anyways, I think they got.
Wow. So I
But
we'll let that
basically-
before we leave. Don't worry.
Oh man.
They take pride. They take more pride in their language than we Nigerians do.
Do you think so? Really?
I think you have to be careful because
From my experience,
them
with
village
Ghanaians.
Nigerians are not having a bar of it, bruv. Because we're talking mainstream Niger. Village Niger is a different kettle of fish. They all speak a Yoruba that even the actual mainstream ones can't understand.
Tracy, what's your experience then? If you don't think that's the case,
I think I've got a pretty unique experience in the sense that I understand Tree, but I don't speak it. And we weren't encouraged to speak it growing up. Mainly by my dad.
Mahuye.
You will never marry if you speak
did you ever
that
ask
language.
why?
Pardon?
Have you asked why?
Bro.
Did you ever find out?
Is of the mentality of, oh, you're here now, so you should learn English. Whereas my mum, on the other hand, would speak Tree to us all the time.
See, my Yoruba teacher always used to say that it doesn't make a difference what the dad usually wants because the mum's the one that always teaches
Rules
you.
the house, right?
Yeah, so whatever it doesn't make a difference.
He rules the house.
He always used to say that he always used to mention his cousin who had a Russian wife, and he always used to cuss the cousin all the time because he's like, your child's gonna know Russian, and they're not gonna know Yoruba, they're gonna know Russision, and they're gonna be talking about you, and you're not gonna know nothing because the mum is the teacher, and she'll be she'll be with the child all day teaching them Russian, and then eventually they'll just be talking in Russian, and you just be there looking. Cussing you when you're eating food, not even know what's going on.
It's such a Nigerian mentality.
Yeah, but it's the truth though.
No, the truth. I mean, I understand the idea that your wife and your child will be able to speak to each other, but the Nigerian mentality is that they'll be insulting you.
They have to be insulting you.
You're insulting you.
They can never say nothing good to you.
Suka bliat.
So, what language is it you said you speak? Twee.
Yeah.
So,
No, I don't speak. I
sorry,
understand.
would you? Are you interested in going further
I'd like
down
to
that
do
road?
lessons.
Have you done any kind of research in where that might be done? Do you know any teachers?
Not recently.
But you've done it in the past?
Yeah, a while back.
Wayne, would you ever consider learning something like that?
He done really well. He was YouTubing and everything.
Hey, rock on the
Yeah.
Wayne.
Etise.
Would you consider doing
that a look of
the
pride in
blood
Wayne's
test?
Kwame.
And would you consider doing the blood test to finding out where
Afore.
you're from? Have you done
Wednesday.
it before? Or if not, would you?
Wayne looks guy, you know.
Man said Wednesday.
I don't know. Like I'm not really. I don't think I'd care so much. Maybe out of slight curiosity, but I'm not one of these people that would end up on that show. Was it Who Do You Think You Are and be crying and all this business over someone that died 400 years ago. And what. But
Tuesday.
That's because you have no soul, Wayne.
yeah,
This
probably.
man ain't got
That's
no Killmonger
probably-
in him at all, boy.
No. Yeah, I'd probably like to find out.
Did the man just say he hasn't got no Killmonger in him?
Yeah, because man wanted to know it. Talked about the ancestors. Wait, don't give a shit. Wait, say that. Okay, I don't give a fuck about their ancestors.
I'm English.
Give me a check button.
Do you carry yourself as English then?
Nah.
You carry yourself as a.
No, don't feed him. Ask
Sorry.
him the question.
No, I
that
didn't
would-
finish, so I was hoping that you would. As
Well, like when anyone asks me where I'm from, I'm St. Lucia.
okay,
Even though
Country.
I don't really know, I went to St. Lucia for the first time last year.
How was it?
That was amazing.
If someone calls you an African, are you insulted?
No.
Okay, cool.
Is that the one you took him?
Hmm?
You took him there.
No, we went together,
How
but
did
I
you
didn't
find
take
it?
him. Pardon?
How did you find it?
It was beautiful.
St. Lucia looks like a nice place.
I
Man.
heard.
Stunning.
I know someone that went there on their kind of second honeymoon, up in the mountains. There's some hotels up in the mountains, and you don't need any kind of doors or anything because it's so warm, and because it's so high, there's no mosquitoes up there.
Man, them men no robbery
Oh,
though.
wow.
Still, but you have no doors.
Is it expensive?
It's like
Hackney
an
man is
open-
there, boy.
No?
It's a robbery, boy.
I mean, there's
Although you
lots-
lot travel, so I don't know what your idea of expensive is.
No,
Because
but
you lot is all jet setting all over the place.
People say that St. Lucia is expensive because they go and stay in sandals or whatever those resorts are. There's lots of resorts out there. If you're trying to do that,
It's pretty expensive.
then it was very expensive.
I stayed in the Hilton when I went there, but that was years ago, and it wasn't that expensive then.
Oh,
Or maybe it was. Maybe I was just
That was
bougie.
before Brexit, but
Yeah, before Brexit. BB.
Before breakfast.
BB. Yeah.
clearly the England
It was
team is
it
not
was
looking at
about
Brexit.
700 each. That was flight,
Yeah,
hotel.
but at that time, 700 each is expensive, bro.
That's what I said. So maybe it was.
How long ago is this?
This was 2000 and around 4, maybe 2004, 2005,
So 14 years ago,
something like that.
inflation in it. So
Can I ask a question quickly?
Yes, please.
I'm interested. This is something that I had a discussion about with my missus. I'm gonna ask everybody. What's the best and worst part about your relationship?
well,
Damn.
Stavros will talk first because it's in my mind.
let
I'll
them
give
talk,
him-
man. Them talk.
if they know what it is, but if they don't know, they're gonna sit there and look at each other.
the best part for me,
Oh.
I think, is that, like I told her, where were we the other day? And I told her, like you get me. Like,
What, like
Did you say blood after?
you get me?
fam, I said fam.
Oh, you said fam,
okay,
so-
okay, yeah.
Like she proper understands me. Like a lot of people.
Oh, fantastic is
Oh,
that.
wait.
Oh,
I wouldn't expect you to say that, but yeah.
no, because you know how I am. I'm very like outspoken and blah blah blah, and a lot of people might find me abrasive and whatever. But she gets me. And
That's
she,
important, though.
so.
And on behalf of everybody else in the world, Tracy, we'd like to say thank you for getting him, because we were scared that this man was going to be single and exhort his misery on us all. So thank you very much. Look at
You're
him.
welcome.
Nah, to be honest, him and Stav are the two that I would say are quite difficult people that you'd have to get them to be with them, because when Wayne's ready, he could say some things that is very outlandish.
I love just chatting with Wayne, because we just
There's no filter.
that's it.
There's no filter, man.
I don't understand filters.
Yes,
'cause
we know you don't understand filters.
is another word for lying.
Yeah, you see. Yeah, that's
talking to Wayne.
they're
This
the
is why I like
same,
to
man.
be
They're the same. Wayne's the type of person that will see you and tell you you're a fat boy. He's an uncle. He's a Nigerian uncle with disguise. That's how you agree. Oh, what's going on, fat boy?
I might even discuss what happened earlier on, but let's finish with that question. So, do you have an answer, Tracy, or would you like me to? You want to dwell on it first? You shouldn't dwell on it
I shouldn't.
because he came quick with his answer.
Quick, fast, please. Fast.
I think the best bits are that we can do most things together and still have fun.
That's a good important thing as well.
That's lovely. That's good.
Wonderful.
There's a lot of couples that do a lot of things separately, and then they kind of meet halfway or whatever. They
Right.
don't have much in common.
Mm-hmm.
Can I assume that you have a lot in common?
I don't think that we have loads in common. Wayne's quite a geek and I'm not. But we do have little, probably niche things that we like doing. So we used to like going to life drawing together, or salsa, or we like holidaying.
What's
Quite
life
fair.
drawing? What's that?
When you draw naked people,
What's going on?
naked models.
Wayne has changed out here. The game's changed.
Hey,
Hold on,
hold that,
when
big
did you
man.
start salsering, Wayne?
He didn't want anybody to know that.
Vive la vida loca.
What, Bashman?
long
came in, yeah.
Bashment
Yo,
salsa.
women can change
Oh,
the
yeah,
man, you know.
You're onto something, bashment salsa.
Women
I'm
can change the
saying.
man, you know, because I would never have thought Wayne would have been a salsa person back in the day at all.
Can you
I
imagine
think I was going salsa before, Tracy. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing salsa.
I'm
before,
concerned for you.
No, look,
Salsa's
people
Can you
like
imagine?
us, we always have our own
Bashment
little,
salsa.
our things that we do. We can't
Bashment
box
salsa
us.
would be the thing, bruv. Can you imagine? Slow down, man. You do
Or even high life salsa.
Okay, so one person is saying you understand me, the other person is saying we can do anything together and we will still have fun.
There's no badness, though.
Who's next then?
Is there any bad?
Maybe they don't want to say it on the podcast.
I don't really think there's a bad thing.
Lies.
No, for real.
Bruv, come on,
Like
man.
filters.
like anyone could argue or whatever. Like, but I don't think there's a actual thing that I could say, yes, that's a bad thing about the relationship.
Think harder. It's there. There's
Why are you leaving? Why are you letting them face their fears? They're happy to say they're
That's
happy,
why I
man.
said maybe they don't want to talk on the
Face
podcast, but there's no
your
way on
fears.
earth that there's a hierarchy, there's a list of things in it. So at the top is what you mentioned. There will be something at the bottom. It doesn't. So
maybe she
so
makes bad money,
he might not know what it is.
Did you say maybe she makes basmati jollof?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yum. What do you mean?
Oh, you do.
Did you say yum?
Yeah.
Get out.
That's the problem.
Can you make jollof?
No, she can't. You saw it
I've
in the
made
face.
an attempt,
Oh my days.
No.
but I can eat it and it tastes nice.
No.
Thank you.
How do you make an
fine.
attempt?
To make an
I can make
attempt.
an attempt.
Nigerian
But you're a
jollof.
Ghanaian woman.
Yeah,
I
but
can make an attempt.
We
listen.
can't
She
expect that everybody
didn't.
knows
She
everything.
didn't marry Ghana, so she doesn't have to go out of her way
Thank
to make
you.
that.
Well, she did say she
Does
went
she make the
McDonald's for
food that Wayne
breakfast.
likes? That's the question that you need to ask. If she, and I know it's very misogynistic, but if that's what she does, what's the problem? Why does she have to make jollof?
Because she's African.
So what?
You're an African, mate.
She should have made it for her father, because that's obviously at the time, that dad would have wanted jollof. But then you had others.
Do you cook? Do you eat? Ghanaian. Other, hardback Ghanaian.
Kenke.
Yeah.
Kenke.
The stuff that goes straight to your foot.
I don't like kenke,
Yes.
Thank
I mean,
you. Kenke is rubbish. That's one starch,
And
boy.
what's the other one?
I actually don't mind kenke.
You like
I think
kenke?
It's alright.
I don't understand Kenke, man. I didn't like Kenke. I don't like Ghanaian food, period, most of the time.
I'm not a fan of
I'm not a fan
Ghanaian
of their food, man. No, I'm not being real.
No, you know what's so funny? We actually tried. We went to restaurants because I was like, no, we're Africans. This is West Africa.
Let's give them a chance.
Yes, they're neighbors or what have you, but there's no way we can't not like something on the menu. And we went to a few, and
We walked out of one
we walked out of one
Why?
completely.
because the
Why?
food was frozen in the middle.
You
Oh,
lie.
wow.
Really?
And
What was frozen?
That's-
What-
that's
what-
the
what,
meat. Yeah.
That's more to
Rubbish.
do with the service.
Bruv,
though.
I was, no, it was the food. You wasn't there.
No, I'm
It was terrible
nasty.
food. And then, but the thing that made me laugh is that it was so terrible, but Simple ate the whole plate still, and then walked out. And then walked out.
I ate 83% of the plate,
And
then
you didn't,
walked
and you
out.
didn't pay.
No, we didn't pay. We
What
just
was we
walked
paying
out.
for?
We just walked out.
It was bad, man.
It was terrible.
Gangster
And then the other
moves,
time
bro.
we went, we went to another place. We went to Gold Coast. We've been there.
Yeah, that wasn't all that either. But their food might be nice for Ghanaian food. I just don't like Ghanaian food about that time. We went to that other place in Tottenham.
Yeah.
That was rubbish as well.
Yeah.
I have not been a fan of Ghanaian food. I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm saying it's terrible.
I've eaten Ghanaian food. You know, I mean, to me, it's fine.
The
Which
only
one?
thing that
It's
I've
just,
had
it's just not.
from,
Kelly Willis
from a
alright.
Ghana restaurant that I thought, yeah, the tilapia situation that's going on with this Ghana restaurant is mad. It is mad.
I don't eat fish though.
But it's mad. I'm telling you.
So Kelly
Yeah.
Willis is alright. That's the plantain
That's
with space
nice.
on it.
But it's not as good as Dodo.
No, it's not. But then doesn't mean that it's not alright though.
Yeah,
I'm not there to compare it.
If you get the right Kelawele, it's nice. It is nice. I'll give them that.
Which
No
one?
problem.
Which
that
one? did
plantain
that
with the
to
pepper on the top.
Yeah.
It's Dodo that they went and mutilated with spices and sugar and God knows what stuff.
But you
that-
like the sausage though,
stuff
innit?
that I didn't need. Oh my days! Oh my days!
you? We do
Yes.
something like
Stavros likes sausage. You heard it here first.
And his reaction to liking sausage
It was
is
very
a bit
sexual,
scary
yeah.
too.
He likes Ghanaian sausage in
Wow.
particular.
Wow, the clitoris like sausage.
that. That's mad.
Listen, this week I booked a flight to go to Ghana,
Wine, you know.
and I had forgotten about that because that is my favorite part of Ghana.
The sausage.
They have
The
their own
buns.
suya sausage. I'm so looking forward.
You guys don't know.
When you go.
Answer the question, bud.
Sorry,
When you go.
you're all gonna go Ghana at some point. We're gonna listen when we're balling. We're going all of.
eat pork, my friend.
It's not pork. I don't eat pork.
He doesn't eat
Oh,
pork.
what kind of sausage?
It's
a
beef.
It's a beef sausage, man. What do you think? What do you take me for?
No,
A heathen.
well,
You probably eat pork, both of you, innit?
Yeah. What's wrong with pork?
Heathens. So, nah,
Are you religious?
no.
He's the biggest heathen in this. Well, apart from probably you, actually. To
Well,
be
yeah,
honest.
we're joint.
I think you
Top
just throw
heathens.
acid on. It's like holy water is like acid to you people, bro.
The best thing about my wife is that I can tell her anything.
My wife.
No, the best thing about me and my missus is that I feel extremely comfortable to talk with her. And I have to. It's the filter thing that was mentioned, and I've just said it out. I say it to my wife all the time. That and her bottom.
Did you say her bottom?
Yes.
we'll leave it there.
What's the worst
Who's
thing?
next? The worst thing is something I don't actually want to go into the. It's not actually the biggest thing. It's something that I'll be criticizing her. It wouldn't be a joke thing. So all the other times when I'm saying stuff,
Sounds kind of serious.
no. It's. I might have even mentioned it before on the podcast. It's not even that deep. It's just that I don't want to criticize my missus because I'm not going to say it's something like.
Well, none of us are going to say the bad thing now, are we?
No, but I mean, there are like I said.
Don't worry. You said
Can
what
I
you
finish?
say.
There are times when it is very possible that I've said this thing on the podcast itself, but it would have been in the general conversation and it would just be there. My wife knows what I think I have an issue with her about. It's just not nice to just this is the thing I don't like.
This is interesting because the question wasn't whether or not what the problem is you have with your wife. The question was what's the good things about your relationship and what is the bad things about your relationship?
This is my point.
And then you said your wife. Your wife is this.
my wife.
And my wife is that.
No, but the good things about the relationship is how well we
Communicate.
Yeah, well for me, because I guess I internalized it and I looked at what do I like about my wife, and I said this is the thing I like most about my wife, and this is the thing I like least about my wife. And
But your wife isn't the relationship.
But that's the problem with the relationship for me is that.
Okay, fair enough, fine.
Mr. Wahala.
I think there's both the same thing, to be honest. Good thing and the bad thing.
Mm.
I think that we're very passionate with each other, which is a good thing. But then when you're both angry again and very passionate with each other, it becomes a bad thing. So we'll be like, oh my God, I love you. What's wrong with you? It'll be either way going back and forth. So I'll say that the passion that we have is probably the good thing and the bad thing.
Okay.
Simple.
Raw. I think the good thing would be we don't have very much in common, but we still kind of find a nice middle ground where there's like stuff that we relate to outside of everything else, and it's kind of like a special secret split space between us because everything else we kind of like are complete opposite. I'm into cars, she's not into cars. I'm into sport, she's not into sport. I don't like Beyonce, she thinks Beyonce is alright. She watches Nollywood all the time. I like Hollywood more most of the time. Like we don't have any common hobbies or anything. Like there's nothing.
Are you saying like it's the fact that you can mesh so well even though you have nothing in common?
That's right.
Okay,
I like that.
all right.
And the bad thing is she doesn't like washing dishes.
I took it there.
No, it's true. I told her before. She knows anyway. It's not a secret. I'm always washing the fucking dishes. I don't mind washing the dishes, but I'm always washing the fucking dishes. And I'm the person that can't sleep if there's dishes in the sink.
Oh, you're like my wife.
Yeah.
So that's so annoying.
I'm not a fan of dishes in this.
So I have to wash the dishes before I go to bed. She knows this, so she doesn't wash the dishes.
Yeah. If you let somebody, if you live with somebody, I suppose that's how it is, isn't it? If they know they can do certain things and you're gonna do it, they'll just do it. That's how it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So annoying. It's
Drives
like they'll be there tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
No.
And then she gets like, no, I have to do it.
No,
now.
no,
What's
no.
your problem? Didn't I say I'll do it?
I'll
Go
live
to
with
bed.
you.
Go to bed.
I've lived
Leave
with
me
you.
alone.
Tracey.
I've lived with you, bruv. You.
Here we go.
No, because this is the
Here we
thing
go.
with
Here we
you.
go. Here we
The
go.
problem with you is that you do things at your own pace, and no one goes at your pace, bruv. Everything you do is slow.
Yeah.
You said it last week.
That's Tracey.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with that.
So then,
But I'll do it tomorrow.
People can't wait for you to do it tomorrow.
I'll
They
do
want it now.
Do it tomorrow.
Manana. What time
Manana.
tomorrow? You're not telling them exactly, so it could be any time tomorrow. You do it at 11:59, so it's before the day after, and then
Yes.
you're like, yeah,
And then there'll be no plates in the sink for you to be able to use
Yes,
tomorrow.
yes, Negro. Yes.
And then you have to wash it anyway.
Yes.
Because he said he's
We're
going to wash
gonna
it
rub the
tomorrow.
train. Yes.
But he'll get it done, though, innit?
No, because he'll get it done not in the time that you need it. So let's say that you you want cereal.
It's not
yesterday.
need, it's want.
You want you want cereal till next day, yeah? But Stabs ate all the cereal bowls and then washed it.
I ate the bowls.
Whatever, right? So you come back in the next morning and you want to use the cereal now, and you can't use the bowl because you have to go wash the bowl again. Why do you have to wash the bowl when he was the one that used the bowl, bro?
Yeah.
Wash the bowl, innit?
No, I don't agree with this because I use it. I must wash it, or because she.
But you said you're gonna wash it, so wash it in good time so everyone else can use it, innit?
But that's something different. It's you said you're gonna wash, then wash, not because I use it, so you're the one that must wash it. That's
all right, we get it. You're a pagan. You're a pagan. Let's
Petty
move on.
relationship business.
Let's go.
Anyway, that actor, go on
you
then.
are a pagan. For me, it is the washing up. I tend to do the washing up, and I don't like it.
That's the worst part of your relationship.
Yeah,
The both of you are really saying it's washing up.
yeah.
You can't believe rastas. You can't believe people that have dreads.
No, she's a little bit of a slob.
All right, they will leave and go with the white woman at some point.
Wow.
That's your job as a person with dreadlocks, isn't it?
Wow.
She should be big as well. If her leg breaks, gravy should come out. That's what I'm saying. That's your job.
I can't believe this.
Any F you lot is
I
banging.
can't believe Tuesday's like, trying to gun us.
Can you imagine?
Any F Any go on.
Yeah. The good thing is we enjoy a lot of activities together. I don't drink, but she will go to like a wine farm or a vineyard, and I'll just go to eat the cheese. But I enjoy the journey and looking at the scenery and everything like
So
that.
you don't drink. You go to a wine farm and she just drinks your portion.
Yeah.
I wonder if your partners
This-
will all say the same thing about the situation if you ask them the question.
Nah, she would say that I sometimes I shut her off and I don't talk to her.
Yeah, I know what I'll get as well.
I'm gonna ask if she's
Yeah,
alright.
we laugh a lot though. We do laugh a lot at a lot of things, and eating out is another thing. We like to explore different types of food.
Sorry, the hood in me just heard that completely different. Eating out is the next thing. You get what I mean?
Eating out, innit?
We'd like to explore foods.
Yeah. Yeah, we like to say yeah.
Down south.
It's very mundane.
Like, I think with me and Tracy, like, we're both, I think it's fair to say, like, really miserable. Kind of like, yeah.
I don't know if
like,
I'd say
no. Like, we can be grouches. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
things annoy us
Lovely.
and we hate the same things. So we'll be out and we'll be just cussing.
So you're moany
Oh,
bastard.
You're like that. Them two characters from Sesame Street.
Do you remember like Harry Enfield when
Yeah.
they used to have the
Yeah.
old gits?
Yeah.
Like that's how we
So
are.
they
That's
will,
how
they will
we
revel in each other's
In misery.
Yeah. Like today, we just before we left, actually, we like all this Cardi B and all this business coming on the TV, and we were there just
Cussing.
like,
old
what
people.
the
Look at this
fuck
bitch.
is this shit? Like,
Coming out here talking
don't
about
even
bloody shoes.
understand it. Like everything. We moan about
Bold that
everything.
yellow. Bold that yellow. Colour is that?
Hey, don't she mean colder?
Talking about bloody shoes.
What's your problem with Cardi B?
I just don't get it.
It's
I
not,
don't get the
it's-
hype. I don't get her music. I just don't get it.
It's not her personally. It's the whole movement. In fact,
What is the movement?
Modern music is
Right,
nonsense.
Talk about it then. Let's
Yeah,
talk
I
about it.
don't.
Before you go into your
I
conversation.
can back you on that.
My
I
conversation.
can't
Yeah, you
stand
wanted
her.
to talk about.
Do you know what? There's
Oh,
not
what
really
she's
much
about.
to talk about because I don't understand it. I just
The
don't
thing-
understand
It just sounds like
it.
noise.
No,
and
but
we
the Cardi
can't
B-
really-
Cardi B's not.
Yeah, that's
Can I
it.
ask you,
You
Wayne?
have just
Like-
said. Can we just establish these young people have said it just sounds like noise.
It does.
They're not-
It really
they're not young.
does.
Thing to say.
That's my mum used to say that about certain
Yeah.
musics, and I'm saying the same things now. And I'm saying the things that old white people say. Back in my day, like
Yeah,
saying-
because you're old now.
I catch myself saying sentences like, "Back in my day, we had jungle and."
So,
Jungle is
ex-
noise.
Exactly.
Come
so
on now.
take it back 20
jungle,
years now.
jungle took skill.
Skill
Skill what?
Is that even a link? Is that even a language?
Doesn't matter.
No,
but I'm saying-
no.
When Marilyn Manson and people are screaming up on to
I'm-
guitars, that ain't a language now.
I'm not giving them props either.
When people going screw,
When people are going
the same
scream,
as-
Well, last week, what's the they said they were educated people.
Who?
Mr. Wolf,
Said who's the educated people?
Cardi B, and Offset.
He said they were educated.
He said it
Nah,
in jest.
nah, I
Well,
didn't
she
mean
might
that.
be, but her music's still shit.
I just
No,
said
look-
that they're smart enough to be millionaires.
The thing with Cardi B is not about the music. The thing about Cardi B is that she used to be a stripper hoe,
Right?
and then now she's become the
So
darling.
strip.
No,
used
she-
like
no,
that,
that's right. No, she's gone
Why a
beyond
stripper
stripping.
hoe?
Well, that's what she called herself.
Right.
So now she's gone beyond the stripper hoe status to being a superstar,
Right.
and she's done it.
She's not superstar.
or
She's,
whatever she is now. Then, but she's done it without potentially being what they call what you guys are. She don't have a filter. She does. She is, and people acknowledge that, and that's why they like Cardi
So
B.
I should like her music because she used to be a stripper and she's not ashamed
Stripper
of it.
hoe.
No, stripper hoe.
Stripper hoe.
did she
okay.
call herself stripper hoe?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound like my cousin.
This is why I
Right,
like.
so,
This is why I actually like Cardi B.
So, because a stripping prostitute is making music now,
I don't
I'm
believe she had
supposed
sex
to-
for money, but she just
Well, a
decided the name
hoe?
was she
Oh,
just
right,
decided
so
to
she
add
was just loose.
that. It could have been possible. I don't know about her sexual preferences.
Okay,
But
right,
she
whatever it was.
classified as
Please,
as-
please.
So,
on
this
this
is why
podcast, we are about female empowerment. Use the term promiscuous. I'm only
But you
joking.
see her mouth though, it's kind of loose.
No.
Yeah, she had, that's another thing. She had
that's what I
really
meant.
bad teeth.
Yeah.
She had really bad teeth. Everybody knew she had really bad teeth. She got and got the teeth fixed. Like all of this stuff she was doing, and people have seen it, and it kind of gave people
Hope.
Yeah, that they could make it as well. That's what they got with Cardi B. You
Is that
could make
like
it. Look at her face.
Turning the hoe into a housewife syndrome.
In a way,
I'm fixed up.
yeah, I was a stripper,
I'm
and now look at
respectable
me.
now.
I'm respectable. I'm on the cover of these fashion magazines, and I go to these fashion things, and I'm Cardi B.
Does fashion make you respectable then?
But she's,
in them circles, some people think
gone from
that.
rag
she
to
still have a
riches.
ratchetness about her though.
But that's
she's
how
from the ghetto.
that's hip hop though, isn't it? That is the thing. Everybody wants to be Scarface, isn't it?
So
That's the dream.
So she's music's answer to the Kardashians. So
No, Kardashians have always been rich.
okay, but they
Daddy.
weren't. They're richer now because
Yeah, but they
one
don't-
of her daughters decided to.
Yeah, but they don't
do
have the
whatever.
hood mentality. She's from the hood.
She was real. That one pretended like she didn't do the sex tape. This one would have done it and said, "Yeah, I did the sex tape."
Yeah, but
And
that's not a
what
reason
they-
to like her music. I'm gonna play her music in my car because I liked her background.
I don't know. People like
I
her.
like
innit?
Bodak Yellow, boy.
I did the sex tape
Very
and I got a
much.
mix.
I haven't heard the whole Boy Like Yellow song yet. Not once.
You've never heard the whole thing?
Not the whole song.
I don't even know what song that is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what the
know
chorus-
what
I
you're
did the chorus
talking
go
about.
That was like the
You
biggest
got
song of
bloody
last.
shoes.
of last year?
Oh, did we hear that today? That's what we
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
today.
yeah. Okay.
See, that's what it sounds like.
That's what
I don't
it
know what you said.
I could speak in Spanish.
She's got a Spanish version.
You might as well, because that's the only one I know. And all I know is that I got bloody shoes. That's what I know.
I got to watch these.
Bloody shoes.
Bitch, you can fuck with me. I got bloody shoes.
I know the song. I've never.
I've never
taken
heard it
time
from the beginning to the
listen
end.
lyrics.
I'm sitting around a bunch of old people.
You like all of this
happily.
trap and grime and what's it, drill
I like
and
some.
B&Q or whatever they call it.
drill.
You know what he does?
Black and Decker.
You know what he does? He replaces his hairline with new music. So he's trying to hold on to the new music and the hairline at the same
He
time.
listens to everything. You're one of them man that listens to things, isn't it? We don't listen to things. We're old people.
I don't-
We go to the same songs and the same year and listen to that same songs and from the same artist.
I'm not as progressive as I used to be.
Well, you're better than all of us here.
Yeah, but you see, that's the thing. I think like you hold on to that progressive bit. You want to like new stuff.
No, I don't listen to new music anymore. I mean, but
But you know that Bodak.
yeah, because it was everywhere. It was like it was hard not to.
I don't listen to radio for that reason. That is nonsense nowadays. If I listen to radio, it's going to be old.
Confession.
Well, like Capital Gold.
Magic.
I can't.
Yeah, I like
can't.
Magic.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
You said you hate it.
This is why they're together.
I like Magic.
I love
It's
Hey, that's what it
nice.
is, boy.
Magic is wicked. Magic, capital gold, heart.
There's no way. There's no way you can listen to Magic for a whole day and tell me you don't like nothing on there.
Blatantly.
Or you won't sing to something.
I would fully enjoy
Or you
it.
won't sing to something.
Standardly.
Exactly.
No.
It's hard to get half an hour out of that channel, and you're not gonna like and sing along to something.
I don't need to get anywhere near half an hour.
Yeah.
Every other track. I'm like, you get me?
I want you to show me. Them tune. They don't know about them tune.
I'm a child of the
They-
80s, man. I was born in the 70s, but I'm a child of the 80s. All that music. I grew up on MTV when they played everything.
Sweet little lies. Tell me
Do you even know who sings that song? I can't say the
Fleetwood
whole
Mac.
thing. I even put my hand up because I knew it would be your big mouth that would say anything.
We were watching a documentary about Fleetwood Mac just before we left.
We're old, man. We went on a podcast the other day, yeah. Big up, off the cuff podcast, yeah. Big up, man, like Foles. We went onto his podcast the other day, and he was like, "You lot is old." We didn't know nothing he was talking about with the music. They were chatting about stuff, and we were just
His
like,
colloquialisms went over my head.
I was like, I don't know who you're talking about.
And I was-
Stav
and I
had to
was
search a man on the phone while he was talking to see who the hell he was.
Yeah,
because
so
we
all
didn't
you
know.
people are Stav know. I don't know. I don't listen to like I know 6-7.
And I was
I
wearing
actually
a
like
fat
their
cap.
music.
Have you seen this new guy they call him Kaneshi 67 or what?
Takeshi 69.
Takeshi 69. Yeah, I've seen him. He got beat up or something, didn't
Takeshi's Castle.
he?
Yeah,
Got,
exactly.
he got beat up or something, didn't he?
No,
He's
I
got
heard-
rainbow hair.
What happened was. Have you heard of Takeshi 69?
Of course
No.
they haven't.
I don't know.
Of course they ain't.
They watched that Fleetwood Mac
sounds
documentary
like a
before they
Japanese
got
documentary or something.
Yeah.
Takeshi
saying.
69 is, I believe, he's a New York rapper that is affiliated with, or seems to be affiliated with the Bloods. And I think the recent incident is that he was going to perform in the West Coast in California, and he made a point that I don't have to check in with anybody when I go over there. And the term is check in. Well, when person from one coast goes to the other coast, you reach out to somebody who is well known or well respected, and you just say, "I'm coming." And I guess it goes in different ways. Could you give me some sort of protection, or is it cool for me to be there? That kind of thing. This happens in the rap game.
nonsense.
And he's like, I don't need to do that. I can go wherever I want, and I don't need to check on nothing with nobody. And obviously, people from the West didn't take too kindly to that. So, and then basically now, I think the game is now dubbing him all over.
All of that is so
they're calling him a fake blood.
childish, man.
It's so ridiculous.
What's the topic that you wanted to talk about, man?
Yeah.
Move on.
All right, so the other day we went to dinner, innit, for
big up the actor. It was his birthday, so we went to go and have dinner.
Man, I wasn't there.
Yeah, unfortunately, he weren't there. So
This is how old he is. He's looking around like, what? We went to where?
well, we went to dinner.
I hate you
And
tonight.
it was a group of boys, group of guys,
Men.
right? And the topic of conversation that everybody was happy about was credit scores and compound interest. Right. So Stav showed people his credit score on his phone, yeah?
We've seen it before that anyway.
Yeah, no, this is new. He's hired now, right?
Oh,
He
wow.
showed people, and when I say, you know, when back in the day, wait, you might know about it. Obviously, you're a man. You maybe not so much. I don't know what women do, but back in the day, when you like, well, not even back in the day, even recently now, when you see like an Instagram girl or some nice girl or something like that, you be like, right, look at this girl, and show them the girl to your brethren in it. Look at this girl, blah blah blah, and the man will be like, wow, look at this girl, blah. Them man were going on like that about his credit score, bruv. Them man were going on like it was a naked woman the way they were looking at. Oh my God, look at that, bruv. My God. What did Top say? Top was like, oh my God, I wish I could have that. Like, it was talking like it was.
I've never seen those numbers.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Like, and it just, in my head, it showed how old we had become. That we are now sitting on the tables and worrying about compound interest,
Yeah. Investments.
investments,
We were,
baby ISAs, and credit scores.
and we were arguing over it as well. Brother, don't tell me I know about compound interest. I know what I'm doing.
Them man were, and I was like, is this what we become now?
Me and Swift were going backwards and forwards because Swift is like, bro, you're not doing right with your money, man. You need to put it in this and you need to invest properly. I'm like, I know what I'm doing, man. Let me
You
clear
need to
my debt first.
diversify your funds, son.
Back in the day, we were talking about women, sport, and music. Now we're talking about how much money we could put in somewhere else to get a little bit more interest for this.
Who's the next person getting married? Where's the next stag do?
Is that what we've become?
Yeah, but that's true. Do you know what the worrying thing is when the conversation doesn't change to that? Because I have friends now.
They're still talking about the same shit.
They talk. They'll come up. Like I used to be a DJ. I used to like mix and whatever when I was a teenager, and I think I probably stopped it in my very early 20s when I went uni. And I meet friends now that I haven't seen for years, and they're like, oh, you still got your decks? I'm like, I'm 40. Like,
Yeah, but there's 40-year-old DJs out there.
I know, but it's not just like decks and whatever. It's all the same kind of conversations. Oh, do you still hang around with things? I'm like, no. Like, and
Yeah, but if you haven't seen somebody for 20 years, they're gonna link with what happened 20 years ago, innit?
No, but the issue is, why are you still interested in that? I want to know what you're doing now.
That's
like,
the last point of interest, though.
Nah,
Last
and it's the same
point of reference. Sorry.
No, it's the same language. It's the same. Like it's like we could go back 25 years and like nothing's changed. I feel it's a bit of a worry when you're 40 and you're still exactly the same as you were when you were 17, 18.
Man still,
Right,
man still
imagine-
trying to sell his mixtape at 40.
Yeah.
Imagine this then. Imagine that each person that we know has a memory slot in your mind, and the memory slot is only as recent as the last time you saw them. So if you saw them 25 years ago, your facial features recognized in his brain, and the first thing he can think of is the last 25 years, like the last point of reference. Then you build from there onwards. Next time he sees you, he shouldn't be talking about 25 years ago stuff.
But I've been there, and it is the same stuff.
It's your brethren. So
No, but I get what you said. There are times when you meet people and you start chatting to them and you expect to see some form of growth.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's just no growth. But I'm very, see, as much as my filter's not the same as you guys, I still got a filter. And this time I'm just like, I don't know what you lot. I don't talk to you people about this stuff anymore. I'm worse than, because I don't know about you, but definitely Stav. He's very, I want to still see people. I want people to still be in my life. I know them. I'm cool. Whereas I just cut people off.
Somebody like that.
I'll cut people off quite easily. If I don't speak to you for 6-7 months, it's not, it's not gonna kill me to not see you. But when I do meet you and you're still telling me the same shit that you told me, like what Wayne's saying 20 years ago, I just like, why am I even getting conversations with you? There's a couple of my brothers that I know that still hang around with certain other friends that we used to hang around with, and I'm like, why are you doing that?
You know what it is? It's when they're talking about things and they are expecting me to be impressed with it or still be excited by it, and I'm like
Like they got a
Really?
fancy car or something.
not even, like mopeds. I've had conversations about mopeds. Oh yeah, I got this new ped. And okay, how much pay for the ped? Oh yeah, it's £500 a second hand. Okay, why are we talking about a second hand moped? Like it's just like
I got. Did you say a ped?
Yeah.
Your brethren.
Old brethren.
No, like, but that's the way you're talking about them. I'm not even going to defend. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like, really.
Tracy, do you have friends like this?
Just
no,
got some.
actually.
Some people just don't move forward, man. Some people are stuck in that one period of time,
Actually, does that
and
happen?
they'll be there forever.
Does
And
that
that's
happen
how
to
it goes.
women? Do women get stuck in time?
I don't think so.
Yes.
Not as much as
No,
men.
they do, man.
I think you might have the odd friend who's a bit. No one really. There's always the odd one, but I don't think it's the same as men. I think women do move forward,
I think
whether
they-
it be children or whatever else.
I went
They
to a
move
New Year-
forward.
I think
went
it's
to a
because you've
New-
got protective hairstyle, so you're not so worried about your hairline being seen and that, so you don't hold on to the memories and stuff.
I went to like a DJ EZ New Year's Day rave, whatever, in Victoria, and there were women there that were my age that I used to rave with back in the day, and some of them were still there with a little ringlets and the
No,
side of
back
their
in
head.
fashion.
I do not believe you.
I'm swear to God, they
40-year-old, what he was describing,
were-
sorry,
they
because
were
they can't see it, is them they press
Gel
down,
down.
the gel down curl on the side of the woman's head.
I swear to
And you're
God,
like, no.
I swear to God, and dresses that you were clearly wearing before you had 4 kids.
That's hard.
No. You should know. You should know when to leave it alone. It's not even just the tiniest.
It's
the
nostalgia,
style
leave
of
them.
no. Come on.
I can see your cesarean scar.
The thing about
Come on, love.
the thing about this, Wayne, though, is that some of those same women, they will be chasing that DJ EZ from when he started in 94 or 92 all the way to 2018. They'll be at every rave.
saying I knew your mum.
They'll be at every rave. They'll be at everything. And I don't know if that's their life and they're happy with it. That's their life.
No, but to be honest with you, music is powerful. Like, there's certain tunes you play, even if we're as we are here right now, certain tunes you play, and some of us might go back to 18, back to
but
21 immediately.
Are you going out every week though, bruv?
Who? But
When
then these EZ raves aren't every week.
No, but I'm saying that they still go out every week. The same clubs. They're still trying to get on the guest list. They're still trying to do all of these things.
insulting me for retiring from raving. Like, why don't you go? I'm like, I'm too old for that now. It's not my era anymore. It's not my time. Let the young people enjoy them things there. I don't want to go out anymore. I've done it. But people insult me all the time. Some people don't even want to invite you nowhere.
Yeah. Don't look at me. Don't look at me, man.
It's an economy, though, isn't it? I think you can realistically mature in your raving as well. I think that's realistically
Yeah, but why
possible.
do you have to go to the old people rave, man? Stop this morgue that you lot all going
No,
to,
but it's
man.
not a morgue. It's just.
It is, man.
No, but when you set up a rave like that, yeah, what you do is you have general consensus. People that come into that rave are of a certain.
What's the old people rave?
but
Bro,
musical
Wahala,
Let's-
you
let's
would
smell-
go.
go
You
on.
would go to a Capital Gold rave.
No, I wouldn't.
What, to hear all the nostalgic
wouldn't.
music we were just singing?
No, I would not go to a Capital Gold rave. The same way I wouldn't go to one of these old school raves where people are smelling of freaking Bengay and whatever it is with their back pains. Oh, bro, I'm not bad
but
there,
there's
man.
a couple raves out now that are for our kind of age group.
Yeah, stop that rave. Stop it.
No
The rave should
no
be
entry.
stay in your yard. That's what the rave should be.
That's for single people looking for that. That's for people in their 40s that
Yeah.
are single. They've messed up in life.
Go
and
to
they're-
dinners,
and
man.
they're still looking for something.
Why do you have to have messed up if you're single?
Yeah.
Some people still want to rave. Just let them rave.
if you're looking
Go
for
and
somebody, yeah, at them times in your mid-40s or whatnot, then of course you mess up.
Why do you have
Why?
to be?
How does that mean you
Why?
messed up?
No, if you weren't looking, then you're not looking. But if you're looking, that means you've been looking. And
No,
if
it
you ain't
doesn't.
found,
If somebody said they hadn't been looking until they were 40,
okay,
they
then
haven't been looking, have they?
fine. As I was talking, I knew somebody was going to throw that up there. If you've been looking from your late teens or your early 20s or whatever for somebody, and you're still in your mid-40s and you ain't found them,
Yeah, but you're going under the assumption that people go out raving for the purpose to look for a woman or a man. Some people go out raving
No,
just to
I
rave.
said,
and enjoy it.
I said, no, I'm not arguing with you there. I said, when you have them people that are going raving them times, still looking, I said, then they flop the game.
So he was 39 years of age, was in a relationship for 15 years with a woman. She died suddenly. He's got to go on with his life. He's out there looking. He's now sad.
He is the exception to the rule.
Oh, here we go.
But he is sad though, still.
Why is he sad?
But not sad for the same reasons.
No, I mean, you can always throw up. You can always throw up hurdles.
He's
So
just,
in that
he's sad due to
that is a
loss.
hurdle.
yeah, sad to
Big
the
up-
loss.
big
He's
up
sitting in the
certain-
corner, innit, just looking for a woman.
There's certain men out there that are still doing quite well in the promoting game, pushing their raves, and there's people that are
Yeah,
raving.
but when a rave, I'm not
No,
those
if it's a
people listening.
business, if it's a business,
That's what I mean.
then
Yeah,
do
but,
your, that's
but
your
most of
business.
the promoters don't want to go out either. You ask them, do you want to go? They're like, no, I'll take going. I don't want to be anywhere near it, but they have to because it's making them money.
If it's
My question is this.
Good grief.
My question is this, yeah, because you brought it up. Right, so let's, God forbid what happens now. We all break up with our women tomorrow, yeah?
Lord have mercy.
God forbid, yeah? Are you ready to go back on the single scene? Because I ain't.
I thought about that, you know. I was thinking about that the other day.
I'm going to talk to your woman, boy, thinking about them.
Well,
I was thinking about being single.
let the guest answer
Um,
in front of their actual partner.
God forbid, by the way.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking.
well, I wasn't really like in like relationships. I was like,
He was banging, let's be real.
yeah, I was banging. But that's exactly what it was. Like, I want one of these. I think a lot of people men especially, get into relationships because they're like,
Enjoying the bang.
no, like, well, they're too pussy to say what they really want.
You're
I want to bang you,
You're a whore.
and I don't want to go out with you, but they can't say that, so they end up being in a relationship with someone that they don't want.
You're a whore. You are a whore.
I think it
course it
happens all the
Yes,
time.
of course it does.
I don't know, boy.
People
No.
are going in a relationship with somebody that they don't
They're
want to
not-
be with.
Yeah, of
Of course
course.
they are.
Just to bang?
Yeah,
Just
you get
to
used to
bang.
it. It's regular. You don't have to go and find someone else. It's just there.
But
Yeah.
then
But-
given
but then they
given
want
the
them done in
opportunity,
one-
Why
be
you
with
think,
them.
why is so much cheating going on? Because
I was about
Yeah,
to
cheating
say
is
that.
cheating, isn't it?
yeah, not because they didn't want to be there in the first place. They
No,
just
no,
wanted
that's
to
not
bang.
like cheating.
I'm not having
A
that.
having
lot of that happens.
I'm
I'm
not
telling
having
you.
that.
Cheating's happening
just-
because you
I
can't
know
eat a whole
people
plate of
for
coleslaw.
fact.
You might have some potato salad
Don't
too.
worry about them, Wayne, man. That's
Your,
it
your
happens,
eyes are
bro.
big.
It happens.
I'm happy with my wife. That doesn't mean I don't see other bottom.
Yeah.
So if I've got no morals, it's got nothing to do with whether I'm happy with my wife or whether I'm satisfied. If I see more bottom and I want more bottom, that's just greed.
Yeah, no, that's one reason for it. But a lot of reasons happen. Like, well, people being in a relationship because they didn't want to be in it in the first place.
But
So,
Anyway,
I
sorry,
don't know
continue.
if I think that they didn't want to be in it. I think that they got into the relationship and then they don't want to be in it now. And instead of them, and that's where they pussy. Instead of them to say, I don't want to be with you no more, they'll just stay in the relationship because it's convenient.
Yeah.
I think that's
Are the
what they
women
did.
pussy too?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So continue this.
what was the question again?
Like, if you were single, would you go? What was it? Would you go back into the dating field?
No, I said, how would you cope
God
with being
forbid if
single
you
now?
broke
How would
up.
you navigate single life in 2018 as a 40-plus-year-old man?
I never looked for a relationship in the first place. I was always adamant from day one that a relationship had to find me. So I was never really in relationships. I kind of forced myself into one because, well, she was having my baby. So I thought, I should probably try and do the right thing. But otherwise, like, I'd do me, I suppose. I don't think I'd go looking for it.
So
I
what?
think it's supposed to find me again.
What he's saying in code is he'd go on Tinder, plenty of fish, and start swiping.
Okay, all right. You're not looking for a relationship if things flopped in your relationship now, but I'm assuming you'd want to have some sort of
Relations.
connection with women. Where would you find that connection then?
Hit up old
I don't
ones.
know.
On the
I
streets.
don't think I didn't want to help old ones.
Them old friends is gone.
Them links,
Gone.
boy.
They're gone.
Them old links.
They don't exist
Commercial
anymore.
row.
I actually don't know.
That's
I should
because that's
know.
the thing. Okay then, Trace, do you feel comfortable answering this question
Trace.
Yeah.
in front of your bald-headed husband?
Not quite. Not yet.
To be.
But to be. I don't know. I don't think I'd go out actively looking for it, but I don't know where I would find it because I don't really rave that much either. Maybe I'd become a raver. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Are your friends still raving?
Yeah, for the most part.
Because that's the thing, innit? If everyone around you in a relationship and you're the only one there single and you're the one that's trying to say, let's go out, boy, everybody's looking at you like, I don't need to go out anymore.
Are you the one in your friends that's in a relationship and the rest of them more or
No,
less?
most of them are in relationships.
Are they happy?
I would say so.
You can rave while you're in a relationship.
Yeah,
no?
you can.
that's what I mean.
Oh yeah, of course you can.
Oh.
I just don't think you should be raving.
Are they raving or are they going bars? I don't know if it's the
Bars,
same.
probably.
bars is
I
different
think
from raving.
once you get older,
not
you don't really rave as much. You go to bars.
What, you go there, sit down, have a drink, and think, oh, I'm going to have a little bit of a boogie now.
Pretty much.
And then do a two-step and like, oh, I had a wonderful
Put your back
night.
on the floor and dance around it.
I had a wonderful night. Oh, it was lovely.
That's pretty much what it is nowadays.
It was like the old times.
back in the day when you raved, you didn't necessarily have to have a conversation. Now you're a bit older, you have a bit of a conversation.
Yeah, I think the raving scope or the raving dynamic has changed for us. I mean, like I said, there's people that still rave now, but I just think it's a little bit different compared to what it was back in the day. I would go raving back in the day and I don't listen to bashment, yeah, but I would wait for it to come on so I could get my grind. You get me? But now, you know, big up man like Mark and Stephen. What's it? Classics and stylish nights. Those are the kind of raves that people our age go to.
They're boring for people.
Yeah, but you know they've been going to them for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
but and the same
people.
kind of age group is still going to these raves
but
and enjoying the raves.
same people,
and
bruv.
these people
They've all banged each other, by the way.
but a lot of these people are
It's true.
now married. They've got children, and they just sometimes want a place to go.
It's like a link up, those raves.
That's
You go
what I'm
there and you
saying.
see everyone that you already know there again.
That's what I mean. It's like a reunion, isn't it?
Is nobody going to address the fact that Mr. Wolf just said he did a Weinstein moment? He waited for bashment to come on.
I was
to
waiting
get
for
a
somebody to
grind.
mention something.
But listen,
He didn't say he
that's
didn't
what I've
ask
done.
though. He didn't say he didn't get
I
consent.
did not ask, and I did not get consent.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
So you were touching up women in the Me
I'm
Too
very happy
era.
that because that's what it was back in the day. That's what it is
it
like
was
now.
But you know how it goes, in it. You go behind them, you give them a wine, and then they give you the look, and they give you the look of either approval or disgust.
Have you ever had the look of disgust?
Me,
Yes.
You know I had the look of disgust.
Have
before
you
that.
had it? Have you had it, Mr. Wolf?
There's always women that don't want to dance, isn't it?
But have you had it though?
Yes, I have.
I've had the one where you
But
dance.
it's not a turn off. If you don't want to dance, I'll go to the next
The
one.
actor,
and-
have you had it?
Get me?
I've had it once. I know you haven't had it, had you?
Wayne, have you had it?
Look at this one. Look at this. Look at him.
Stav Ricky, have you had it?
I was too afraid to go and dance with chicks.
They looked at his
I-
dreads and
I-
they said yes.
Isn't
it?
I had a
Simple. Yes.
Look at the smile.
Yes,
Look at
exactly.
the Cheshire cat
Hold
grin.
on, go on, Wayne.
I had quite a good moment one time where they get the friends to look for them
Oh, yeah.
sometimes.
I've had that, yeah.
So I went to a girl up behind there, started
You can't
dancing,
see the face. innit?
and then the friend was like, no. So she moved off, and then she turned around and looked, and then turned back around and backed back into me and carried
Look
on
at
dancing.
that, though.
And I was looking
Look
at the friend.
that, though.
I spent the whole dance just looking at the friend, like nodding my head slowly. Like,
Bitch, you. Hey, Tayo. Yeah, hey, Tayo.
That one day where you're whining behind the girl and then she looks round and then walks off and you just have to whine in the open space.
Yeah.
Like you was doing it. So. Oh man.
So what about you? Have you had to push man away?
Yeah.
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 Every
Oh,
girl's had to
women,
push
You,
man.
you like your one-word answers, you know that?
But from a female perspective, what's that like? What does that feel like on the inside?
We didn't go that far. It's only a dance time.
It's about as the inside of a woman, not as the inside of the in-thing.
Whoa.
Wayne,
What do you mean the inside of a woman?
Wayne about
When you
to
say
do the
inside
Bruce
of a
Wayne
woman,
move.
what do you mean?
No, he don't give him the innuendos. Don't be to the situation. Just say what you're saying.
No,
Man.
that was a genuine question. It wasn't like I wasn't.
So you want to know what my woman
Emotionally,
feels
how does
like
that
on the
feel?
inside?
Emotionally, it depends. I think if you turn around and he's not your type, but he looks kind of sweet, maybe you might feel a little bit bad. But you know, if he's got BO and stuff like that, then you don't feel bad.
Certain
You're
man
just
got
like,
bow,
oh
man.
no.
Certain
No,
man
you
got bow in the
smell. Go away,
daytime.
please.
That's salt
Did
sweat.
I ever tell you the time that Simple Simon danced with a girl and she left her essence on his leg?
Oh God!
Oh wow!
Why'd you
I got bare Simple Simon stories. You know?
So hold on.
I got bare
You know-
Simple Simon stories. You know?
You know them dances where you're up behind the woman and you're doing the grind, but this one is
Yeah.
when I'm assuming that you are facing her and the legs are in between each other, innit?
Wait.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
That's
he
what I'm
knows.
saying.
This one got up
So-
to do for that guy because he understood what happened.
Like
So-
a standing
Yeah,
scissor.
so basically, because back in the day,
Was
yeah,
it a super bad
back in the
moment?
day, Simple Simon was limbo, innit? He was still limbo them times there. He was still limbo them times there. The back wasn't pulling out the way it's pulling out these days, yeah? So he was whining with the girl. And Simple used to wear a nice trouser. They used to wear a proper church type trouser. So then,
Shokoto.
yeah. So then he finished whining with the girl now. And I'm like, what's going on, bruv? And then we looked at his leg.
What colour were the trousers? What colour were the
I
trousers?
was like a grey, I think it was.
Listen, that's a fantastic moment in life.
And she left like an essence on his leg.
Oh God!
He was proud.
And wet patch is a
He was
beautiful
proud.
thing.
Which time was that? Was that?
This was at college, I think.
Which
It's happened to me more than once.
Yes, it has happened to
It
me
happened to
more
you
than
more
once.
than once.
Yeah, I was wondering.
So, okay. So you've had situations where you went to the rave and you ended up wet. And Wayne has situations where he went to rave and he ended up wet too. Because he fell into the Thames. So you want to talk about that story?
There's bear stories, Wayne. I'm telling you, man.
Look at the way Tracy looked at me. Oh,
See,
my
I told you,
baby.
she gets me. So
Thames, you know.
we was going to my friend's 30th birthday party. And
Was it 30th?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so that was some years ago. So we was going. So
Were you there, Doctor?
she
Yeah, I was
decided.
there.
Was you there or not?
Are you sure?
Do you know who shitted on the windowsill? You might know the story because somebody shitted on the windowsill one time, and we're still trying to find out who it was. We think it's
my
web slinger, but
God.
web slinger denied.
You know the situation where I said the drinking game. This is the dude I had it with.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah,
he was there, yeah.
But okay, finish your story.
Shitted on a window.
the same birthday lady we're talking about. Yeah,
No, it was another. I'm sure it was another party.
Okay, you know what? Because Wayne has. I always say, maybe I'm wrong. Is it a photographic memory you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not anymore.
But okay, so you can remember this. So that situation with this person's birthday, same birthday person, different birthday. So it was after this. I can't remember which one it was, but it was when she worked in the bar.
Mm.
And remember, I said I could drink anybody under the table, and then we had shots of E&J. All right, so we went back to hers. I remember throwing up and passing out. Now, unless I'm mistaking this or confusing it for another time, at a later date, the woman in question said somebody did a doo-doo on her windowsill.
Wow. I remember someone threw up on her pillow.
No, you're talking about a different time because the windowsill
It was
was
a different time.
definitely at Web Slinger's house.
I was at Web Slinger's house.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
my bad.
I remember someone threw up on her pillow.
Okay.
Someone was found in her toilet, in her bathroom, drunk, and like it was.
How did he fall in the Thames, bro?
Right, so for her 30th, so she had she got a limousine, but before the limousine came,
Like the Hummer limousine.
we was
innit?
all chilling in the shop because me and her used to run a video shop. So we were drinking while we were waiting for the limo to come. So we'd gone through like loads of bottles of champagne and whatever.
Ballers.
Champagne. The limo turned up, so obviously we'd paid a lot of money for the limo. So it was like, take us. We were going raving in Wardour Street. Was it Wardour Street? It's just off Oxford Street. Yeah, so it was Wardour Street. And,
Soho.
We said take the long way because obviously we
Yeah, I was
paid.
thinking, why would they have taken it that route then? If
Yeah,
we were
no,
going
we was
we
by the
paid for it.
embankment.
Yeah, we paid for it, so we said take the long way. We want the scenic route.
what the hell are we doing
So,
over there?
I thought we was raving by the embankment.
no, it was
Finish
Wardour
the story,
Street.
man. Go on.
Sorry.
So we was going up embankment, and by this time, all the champagne and everything had kicked in, and there's loads of girls in the car, loads of guys, and it was like everyone needs to go to the toilet. So we jump out at embankment now, girls as well, and there's like a square kind of thing that goes onto the river, like a viewing platform. So being the gentleman we let the girls take this, right? So it's outside, and all the girls are lined up around there doing their thing, squatting down.
Wow.
So there's some stairs going down from this platform to the water. Like if a boat pulled it up, that's how you'd get onto the boat. So two of the guys that I was with, who were younger than me, quite a lot younger than me, got to the stairs first, and they were pissing on the stairs. So I got to the stairs, and I obviously had to go down the stairs a bit because they're taken up a bit. So I stepped on the first stair. I didn't think anything of because they're on the stairs. So I stepped on the first stair. But what I hadn't realised, I had like a pair of Patrick Cox shoes, like woodblock.
Patrick Cox, you
So
know.
had to get the name there. So they were like wood bottom shoes. And these two guys were younger than me, so they both had kickers on with a grip. So I took a step on the first step, and they were covered in algae, and I just slipped down about 30 steps.
Oh,
And
30.
yeah.
Oh,
and landed in the water.
You know what the worst story about this is?
Hilarious moment.
You landed in the water and piss.
No,
You didn't think about that.
No.
You never thought about that at the time, innit?
No, the platform was too big, and it had like a lip anyway. Like
Water flows,
you had
though.
to step over it. But anyway, yeah, well, maybe even so. But yeah, I was down there.
Did you
in the
still go
water.
to the reef?
The gangster thing is,
So I got back up the stairs. Why are they sort of laughing at me? I couldn't even get out of the water to start with. And these
you could have
up the
drowned and shit,
They were too busy laughing to go and get a rubber ring or anything. So I eventually got back out of the water. Got where I couldn't. It took me about 5 minutes to get up the stairs because they were so slippy. I kept slipping down. So you know when they say go up 2 steps, slip back 1, or whatever is. And so I got to the top, and the birthday girl was there, and she's like, "You're still coming to the rave though?" And I'm like, "I'm covered in algae and
piss
and water." So she's got napkins out the car, and she's trying to drive me off, and said, "No, you're still coming." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not," like kind of thing. But anyway, I got in a taxi, called my brother on the way home. I said, "Run me a bath and iron me some new trousers." So I ran home, jumped in the bath, changed my clothes, and went back. And that was probably one of the best nights out that
That's a
I've ever
slag
had.
for
was
life kind
that
of
was a wicked
moment, innit?
For life.
If I'd done in that river, boy, I would have been dead, boy.
One time.
Because I
Can't
would,
swim.
Doing your
I can
dog
swim.
paddle.
I can swim, man.
Who can't swim here?
Me.
Okay.
I've
Any-
had swimming lessons. I'm rubbish.
recently or when you were
Just put
younger?
it, I'm rubbish.
About 3 years ago.
Oh
Go
wow!
back, man.
Did you not like complete the thing then? Once you started, did you not figure
No.
to finish it?
No. I just realised I was rubbish. I think the swimming instructor didn't want to tell me I was rubbish, but I think
How
I
many
was
lessons
rubbish.
did you have?
Can everyone?
I had quite a few before I stopped going.
Oh,
I
wow!
can't remember how many.
I don't
Can you drive?
Yes.
How was your driving lessons and all of them things there?
What are you questioning there?
That's an interesting...
Because it might be a similar thing, you
What,
know.
swimming and driving?
No, it may have taken a long period of time to pass her driving lessons and to get her license, and it may be a same kind of situation with the swimming. You may just need to
persevere
and stick at
On
it.
that, man. There's no reason for you to swim unless you're gonna go
Listen,
somewhere.
there's a
in the
reason
river.
to swim.
I think
man.
swimming is a good life skill.
It is, but
Important, man.
it's not the biggest deal, man.
I would go as far
For
as to say
someone
that
who can barely swim, right?
I can swim.
You can swim.
Yes.
God damn for
wow. He
Somebody
said
joking about.
he said you with a pause
You know what?
can swim.
Next time we go on holiday, I'm gonna land on you, bro,
Oh shit!
and push you to the floor.
Yeah, I'll be dead, bro.
Exactly.
No doubt. No doubt, baby.
I'm gonna hit you with 100 kilos.
We haven't answered any of the topic things that
Right.
was there on the list.
And we're done, you know.
No, we didn't even speak about Netanyahu. Not even. What's his name?
Who Benjamin Netanyahu?
Yeah, okay.
Israel and all them things.
All right, we have
What
a
time?
situation going on in Israel with the Prime Minister. What's his name?
Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, there's a. I don't know if any of you know the Israel is borders Egypt, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're building a wall, or they've built a wall. Or,
Trump is on
a
this
fence.
shit.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, this is the thing. Simple Simon opened my eyes to some situations. So as I was doing research for the topics, I did actually check some links, and so he's. Would you like to?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So he's expelling African immigrants from Israel
Yeah,
at the moment.
that I knew.
So what they're doing is they're saying, listen, this happened in I think February, and they said by I think it's the 1st of April or the end of April. I can't remember, but it was like 2 months. You get out of the country. You stay and get put in jail. Or what? There wasn't even a third option. Well, basically, they get out. But what? This is how peak it is. It's
Jail,
like
you know.
we will pay for your flight, and we will give you the equivalent of I think it was $2,500. Just piss off. Get out of Israel. We don't want you here. Go.
What's the purpose?
We're willing to pay, to get blacks out of the country, innit?
Is that
'Cause
the
it's-
reason? The
it's
whole
Af-
reason is to get Africans out. There's not like they're not telling you.
There's immigrants from
What's
other
the lie that they
places.
say?
Why is it only?
Is it
why
illegal
it's-
immigrants though, or immigrants that they brought over in the 80s? In the 80s,
In the 80s.
and it was the 80s as well.
What I read only used the word migrants. It never ever once said
Specified.
illegal. Yeah, never said illegal.
so
just
it
said
could be
migrants.
just-
So it is
migrants.
black
because
go home.
apparently infiltrators from Africa are a greater threat than terrorists.
Jesus Christ!
Wow.
This is
because
what he said.
Israel
That's a statement.
Israel brought Ethiopians, East Africans, to their country.
They want
to
them
their place
gone.
in the 80s to help grow the economy. So I'm wondering if they're talking about those people or people.
Anyone of your shade.
They're talking them. They're talking the Sudanese. They're talking Eritreans. They're them moving all of them out.
You've
Quote-
done the
quotes.
joke, now leave.
Quote, we're talking about a Jewish and democratic state. How could we have guaranteed a Jewish democratic state with 50,000, then 100,000, then 150,000 infiltrators each year?
Infiltrators,
Yes.
Can you even believe it?
So there's a lot of stuff going on in Israel that in this Jewish state. My wife told me be careful when we talk about this, you know? But I said we're going to talk about it. That it seems like it's not publicized a lot at all for reasons that I think we can all assume we know, and I don't think
Big
the
up
black
Reggie
community,
Yates.
the black community know. I would like our resident expert on this subject.
You can't call me an expert.
Bruv, you lived in Stamford Hill.
You're the
the Jew in the table here, bruv.
to speak on it because he brought it to my attention, and I would like him with a bit more knowledge than me.
All I basically said was that Benjamin Netanyahu is a fuckery. He's a complete fuckery. And I akined him to a modern day Hitler, effectively. I say that maybe not so lightly He's got a proven record of not being very fond of Africans, for starters. And whenever somebody's not fond of Africans, I don't like them. He's not just Jewish. He's a Zionist Jew, which is slightly different from a normal Jew. Imagine, if you will, what they call a moderate Muslim who just follows his faith and lives his life. And then the extremist Muslim who we would call ISIS and all the rest of it. The same thing happens with Judaism. So you have Jewish people that are considered moderate, and then you have Zionists that are the ones that say that Israel is their country, it's always been their country, everybody else should get out, and they're the ones that are doing the illegal settlements up and down the country.
What's the London?
He's the leader of that crowd.
What's the London mayor that he did the Burnley buses? What's his name? The London mayor, the one before
The one
Boris.
that got dashed out.
Yeah.
Livingstone.
Old school,
Yeah. Remember he mentioned the Zionist Jews and they got him.
And they got him.
They got him.
That is the militia outfit of the.
And that's the problem that I have with. I don't have a problem with Benjamin Netanyahu per se, in the sense of he's a racist, he doesn't like Africans, and he's not scared to show it. I've got more respect for people like that. My problem is with the silence on it.
Yeah.
Because if this was any other country saying get rid of the white people, whatever, it would be huge news. So my problem is more with the people that are staying silent about it.
Around it, yeah?
It's, the BBC, why is this not on the news? Like, where, that's who I have the issue with.
But it's on the news not necessarily because of the people that are doing it. It's because it's the people it's getting done too. Because it's not just in Israel. You've got places like Saudi Arabia and those places where Africans are getting, or the migrant Africans are getting mistreated, chopped up, killed. All of this madness, and people don't even mention it. You got the only place that I think they even mention any type of black issues is probably some places like America and the UK, and even then it's just to pretend like they're presentable in it. But those other countries, they don't care about black issues. They don't care about how the black migrants are being treated. Where was it that there was having the slaves? Was it Libya?
Yeah.
The black slaves? And it was only because somebody saw it on Twitter or something like that they became an uproar. It's done now. Nobody's worrying about it now, is it? It's gone. It's finished.
Yeah.
It was a week that they were talking about that, and then now suddenly you don't talk about it no more.
I also think it's who's doing it, because Israel never seems to be able to do it any wrong.
They can't do wrong.
Because when Saddam Hussein gassed the Kurds, he was a nasty, horrible dictator, like murderer.
Yeah,
like,
but he had good off.
These lot will go to a Palestine tower block and blow it up with a helicopter, and no one just no one will describe it as an atrocity or anything.
It's always that retaliation, isn't it, or defense or what have you? It's just
so they fired upon a tower block.
Have you ever spoke to a Palestinian before?
Once, yeah.
And how was their feeling and reactions to that conversation, or did you have that conversation with them?
It wasn't really a conversation. I just fired lots of questions at them and just let them answer. Just out of pure curiosity, I was just asking them everything.
I went to secondary school with a Palestinian, and he wasn't very happy because his dad was having some trouble. And I think that's when I became, because I've always lived in,
woke.
Yeah, I've always lived in Israel, in London, right? If you don't know, that Jewish community that's in Stamford Hill is the biggest in Europe. Like, they've got the most members in the whole of Europe. Okay, that is the headquarters.
I call them the man them. Yeah.
So I've always lived there.
The real mafia.
Trust me. I've always lived there, and my friend that I went secondary school with now, he was Palestinian, and at the time I didn't really know much about that geography, so it's like, oh, Palestine, where's that? I know that I saw it on FIFA, but I didn't have no idea where that was in the world. Huh?
They got a football team.
They had a football team on FIFA, man.
Yeah.
FIFA World Cup, Palestine, they had the football team. Yeah, they were all there.
As well.
So he explained to me where Palestine was in relation to the world map and stuff, and then he got into talks about Israel. He was a cool guy, so calm. He was such a peaceful brother until we had this conversation about Israel. And I've never seen so much pain in a guy in all my life, because he's like, my family didn't do anything. Like, we've been there forever, and now they've thrown them out. They've put my dad in jail. It's like, it was deep. Like, first time ever in my life.
The equivalent is, sorry, Stavros, is imagine somebody taking somebody that you don't know and telling them that they're going to live in your house. That's basically what they done with the Israelis. Israel are now.
Is it like what Mugabe did?
I think it's Mugabe.
No, it's worse. It's worse.
It's worse than that. I mean, they're 60 years, about 70 years ago now, isn't it?
47, isn't it?
Just after the war.
Yeah. So I think, so last year it made it 60 years.
From what I heard as well is they were always going to push for a settlement, but the initial place apparently was supposed to be America. It was supposed to be America.
Because
America was like,
what they're saying initially or essentially is that they're just putting them back to where they were before, and that is just
a lot of people. This is
know,
going over their heads. You know, what you
it's
talk
a
about settlement
complete lie.
and
It's their reparations, isn't it?
You
but
need to explain
okay,
it.
look, the bottom line is that they're saying that the Jewish community didn't have a place to stay, so they gave them that state of Israel in Palestine, innit? And history will tell you that they were never, and I've stated this on many occasions, they were never the original Jews. They are just converts and invaders that came from a certain area around there, from Eastern Europe.
Caucasus
Mountains, and they're Romans as well.
Essentially, they're immigrants, migrants.
Yeah, they're converts. They're not
There were nomadic people in the Bible times anyway.
They were gypsies.
But where do they get that they think that that's their land then?
Because it was given to them.
The Bible
By
says
who?
Religious
The Brits.
By God, isn't it?
Religious texts,
The
yeah.
American and the Brits.
Mm.
Well,
And
The American and Brits is the one that did the Balfour Agreement, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
And so American and Britain carved up the area.
the world.
The world,
Yeah.
but they carved up the area on this particular occasion. And the Jewish people were saying, well, we need somewhere on the back of, like you said, World War II. We need somewhere, and, you know, this is where we want to be. And between England and America, they decided, okay, let's cut out a piece of this land. They kind of told Palestine rather than asked them.
Of course.
And they said, okay, these are the guidelines for where the Jewish people are going to be able to settle, and these they have to stay within this area. What's happened over the time is obviously people settle, they have generations of family, there's more and more people, and rather than go through the right political chain to house people, they just started moving the border organically, if you like.
It was a massive war, innit? And a lot of people died.
So they moved the border to the point now where the original borders from 47 to now are so much different that Palestine has a legitimate argument to say our country is literally being invaded. The problem is, as the invasion is happening, that land is being claimed as Israel. So imagine if you've got Palestine on this side, you've got Israel on that side. Israel's growing, Palestine's shrinking, but you can't say at any one point that there's no man's
There's
land.
no divide,
Yeah, it's like, so, and that's what's basically happening. And it's deep.
One of my best friends is married to a Palestinian. So I actually walked her down the aisle in lieu of her dad, who was out of the country at the time. And when I go to see him or her and their family, and his mum and dad have come from Palestine, and we speak to them, is exactly what you said about your friend. The dad loves football. He's a Liverpool mad fan. Liverpool. That's all he cares about is football. He just wants to talk about football. He jumps up and down. Very animated person. Start talking to him about home. Bring up the subject. And he's a doctor. So educated.
Fire
just
and pain.
Oh my days. The stories that he told me. This is when you know, yeah, ignorance. This is when you know I did not know nothing. All the stuff he's talking about, I was flabbergasted. It's almost like you can't be serious. Like, how have I never heard of all this stuff? So it's like he's saying that you'll just be in your house and they'll come in. It can happen every couple of weeks where it's just everybody has to come out their house, get on the floor, hands on their head. They just ransack your house, and you can't do nothing about it. He says that he lives here. He's driving to go to work there, but this road is for Jews only. He can't go down this road, so he has to go X amount of miles around because he can't go down this place. Stuff like that, just to go from his house to work. It's stuff like, and you're thinking, like you think he's joking, like almost, because it doesn't sound real that this is the stuff that's going on. And it's like they don't tell you nothing. They don't tell you nothing. And it's so sad watching a man change, and it's like he'll be talking about what they did to his son, what they did to his daughter, and it's like a man that can't defend his family because the whole country is against you.
The biggest crime that I'll say one of the biggest crimes that I found out about was that there's no Palestinian passport. Palestinian people have to get registered for an Israeli passport in order to go back to their own country.
Do you know?
Then, on top of it, they've got blockades between the communities. So
This is what I'm
if
talking
you're
about.
a Palestinian that has to pass into a Jewish
It's
community,
checkpoints.
it's checkpoint, and every single day you have to show your ID at that checkpoint, irrespective of the fact that the soldier that was there yesterday knows your face. You still have to show your.
It's like they treat you like children.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a man. I'm a man.
I need to understand
Treating
how.
you like children. It's like I have to get out of my car and do this and that. And you're thinking, wow.
I want to know how the Palestinians feel about Africans.
whether they understand the plight.
If their empathy is as it should be,
That's
because obviously we
interesting.
was there. This happened to us way before it happened to them. Do they understand it when they seen black people complaining about this situation?
No,
and
because
how-
we're black, innit?
yeah, but I'm just wondering if because I have empathy for them, but then do they have empathy back?
No one has empathy for us.
You don't.
No, probably.
I wouldn't look at it like that.
I always look at shit like that.
Me personally, I wouldn't look at it like that. I'm looking at them like they have their own issues, and I always look at it from my point of view. I always look at it like this: if you pick up your child from school, and they said your son or daughter was really bad, they were in a gang or a group of children, and they all did something. They were fighting or throwing things around or whatever it is. Yeah, I only care about my child. Yeah, what did my child do? I have to look after that first. Before, and then I have to realize, were they the gang leader? Were they the person dealing with other, were they following? And if they're following, who they're following? Now I become interested in who the next person is, because I need to keep you away from them or talk to that person's parents and stuff like that. You look after home first.
I'm
Before you start
saying
going. So if I'm a Palestinian and I'm dealing with the fact that at 3:00 in the morning I'm gonna hear sirens and I just have to come out my house, get on my hands and knees for them to ransack my house just for whatever random reason, and this is gonna happen again in the next month. What do I care about Africans in Africa? I've got my
I'm
own.
not talking about now, but if somebody was to then give you a story that resembles exactly what you're saying to them, shouldn't you not have empathy for that?
Yeah, but
I
you
think
would
that's only
on a
natural.
one-on-one. Sorry.
I think that's only natural. Like, if someone brings up an issue that's close to your heart, even if it's for other people, you're going to listen now because you've been through it. It's like these people, it's like, when they've never done a bit of charitable work in their life, but have one of their daughters or family member die of breast cancer. Now they're running around in a pink t-shirt and starting up their own charities because they now have a connection to that issue.
Yeah.
So I do think they would when they hear about people being pulled over by police and treated unfairly, I think they would. I mean, maybe it's just like I hope that they would.
But let's even go with the situation that's now. So these Africans are getting dashed out of Israel. Is Palestinian arms open wide for these Africans to come? Or are they also telling them to piss right off?
Well,
No. They've specified. Well, they haven't specified. They haven't said. The Israelis are telling them there's a third country that you're going to go to, and it's a safe place. And there's rumor going around.
That's it.
There's a rumor going around that it's Rwanda, which is God knows how many miles away. But they have not actually gone
Safe
down and
place,
said
you know.
it's this country.
So what's a dangerous place then? Israel.
why? Israel's
No, they say you can go to
Gaza.
a place of your choosing. Yeah, where you can actually go. So
Go back to
you
where you
couldn't.
came
You couldn't. Yeah, you can go back to your own country. Most of these people came because of some sort of war or famine, anyways. So they were fleeing the country to reach there. A lot of them from Sudan. So it's like, well, you can go back. It was like, well, I'm not gonna go back because I left for a reason. Well, you can go to jail, or you can go to what Wayne said, this third safe place. And like they said, they're not telling you where it is. So it's like, we're gonna send you there.
Probably Peckham.
And on that note, we will end.
Oh, you said that.
It was obviously it's Wahala, isn't it? It's not going to be me.
Church notes and goodbyes. Let's start with Simple Simon.
At Simple Simon FB on Twitter. I have very little to announce this week. Twitter's been crazy though. There's been lots of mad shit going on. People shooting their shot and shit. I don't know why I'm mentioning that. Yeah, that's it. Later. Peace.
Mr. Wolf.
Twitter, aka _ Mr. Wolf.
Give me some energy, bruv.
You know what? I just forgot all my things just for a second. And on Instagram, it is aka Mr. Wolf. And you mentioned something about Nigerian Twitter, did you not, Simple Simon?
Yes.
So Nigerian Twitter, if you're out there, man, come holla.
I've been looking for Nigerian Twitter all
Baby
week.
holla.
I want to see what this pepper is about.
That's what
That's
somebody
it.
put up Nepa the other day. I was proud.
Yeah, I saw you retweet that. Sorry. Yeah, Big Wahala.
At Big Wahala on Insta. At Big Wahala on Twitter. Fatwatch this week. I have stayed the same. 122.
It might be the garms that you're wearing, but you look slimmer still.
Yeah, I'm slim, but I stay the same this week. So 1-2-2.
Mans are watching man's figure.
Fat
It's a bit
watch
disturbing, isn't it?
is
We've got to look after each other.
I mean, you have to watch his figure.
I'm not doing that.
that actor.
What's going on, people? The actor on Instagram, the actor on Twitter, spelt DATACTOR. Want to give a shout out to Blind Aid. Today I was doing a play reading for them. It was very good. I was well received and well welcomed. Also a shout out to Aisha Scott and the film Absent. Check out the change.org website, sign the petition. And yeah,
Petition about?
absent fathers.
Okay.
And also a shout out to
Shout out Jamaicans.
for no reason at all.
You talk about absent fathers.
I know.
That's something wrong with this guy, you know. When they throw backtracks at them, you know, man.
Bedrin, why you talk about? And shout out
Fuck
to
you both. Just fuck you both, yeah? Sorry, that just came from my Jamaican
I
side,
know
yeah?
R12 of my picnic. I mean,
Nah, the Jamaican side just said
and the
fuck you both.
13th is Andy Weir. I mean, I see him. Shout out to Cop Films.
Two of you are blood clots. I just want you to know that now.
Like my fourth child.
kiss the blood clot. All right. I am Stavros Boss, and the segment Stavros says this week is a film called The Fits. It's a film that myself and that actor went to watch during 2017's BFI what's it, film thing?
2017. That wasn't last
BFF.
year.
Best friend for life.
Something like that. The film thing, the festival. Yeah, British Film Festival, BFF. All right, 2016. It's a film
It's BFF,
that
BFF,
stars.
Street,
I can't remember her name. You know, I should really actually write down the things I'm gonna. I used to, and then I've stopped.
Prudent. It would be prudent to do
Yes.
so.
Anyway,
again, sorry?
the film is called The Fits. It stars a young lady who is going to a dance class because she can't get home until her brother finishes basketball. So she basically fills in the time after school, and she's a bit of a tomboy. So it's really interesting. It's an arty film, and it just came to mind recently because I watched a film called Annihilation, and I was listening to that's come out on Netflix recently, which is quite a very good film as well, by the way. And people said it reminded them of that, with its very surreal, like abstract things that's going on, and you kind of have to work it out. And there's a song in this film as well, which is fantastic. In fact, I'll actually find out what that is, and I'll tell you at the end. After Wayne and his missus, you know, I ain't gonna bother saying her name, are gonna give their exit.
That's not nice.
No,
Why
because
not?
I want her to say it herself in her sultry, lovely voice.
Carol, innit?
Why are you trying to redeem yourself?
Did you just say it's Carol? You chauvinist bastards.
Carol
both of
Jackson,
you.
right?
Oh
So
my god.
harsh.
I just like causing trouble. And you know what? The reason that Wayne is with this woman is the same reason I feel so, because I've met you maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel so comfortable having a laugh with this woman because you take it and
Oh,
you
you
give
like-
it out.
You
And
like Ghanaian women. You get on with Ghanaian women.
It's true, isn't it?
it is true. It is true. Maybe can Ghanaian women take the just blunt, unfiltered truth better than other women?
Truth or
It's because they hate their men,
Probably.
so they hate their own men. So
Oh, that's not true.
It's true.
Are you with
Come
a
on.
Ghana man?
it is true.
No,
Are any of your sisters with Ghana men?
no, but
No,
we
you-
are.
When you're married, and you know it's why a lot. This is why a lot of Ghanaian women are so forceful about having their own name, because they don't want to marry another Ghanaian man, but they
That's
love
not
their
true.
they love
We're
their
just
country more than they love their men.
anomalies. I know
Oh.
Ghanaian people.
When
that
were you
have married
married?
Ghanaians.
Okoye
Who's that?
in Black Panther. She loved the country more than she
They
loves.
love their. You know what? If that could have been the title for the thing, it's too long. That makes sense. It doesn't fit in. But that's fantastic. They love their country more than they love their men.
Ghanaian women.
I don't think that's true.
It's
I'm gonna
true.
put that in
It's
quotation marks and post that all over
It
the
is,
world.
it is true.
any of them with Nigerian men?
No.
That's strange.
Don't look at me when you say it. Is it him that asked? Anyways, you want to say your goodbyes? If you want to share your social medias or no, you don't. You don't have to.
No, I don't have social.
You don't have
media.
social-
I'm so old. You see, I don't have it. I don't
Do you
have
have an email?
Instagram.
We
I do
have
have an
Facebook. That's it.
Exactly.
We're old. We're old.
Them man carry a pigeon each other, boy. when we was in the West today, he sent smoke signals.
Yeah.
Well, you can say goodbye and anything you want to promote. Anybody we want to pick up, by all means.
I'm just gonna say goodbye. Thank you for having
Are
us.
you going to say goodbye to the microphone?
Why are you forcing
Sorry.
it, man? Just say goodbye.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Yes, pleasure having you.
Indeed.
Right?
I like your facial expressions. His not so much, but yours, yeah.
Right.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, no, it's been good. Nice. You should have us again. I think.
Oh, listen to that.
Well, when we have better subjects, boy.
Do you have
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you do any personal work, Wayne?
Personal.
For your websites and stuff like that?
Like a stripper.
I thought you were trying to Cardi B from it.
Freelance,
yeah,
freelance.
I do.
You might want to bring it out, let these people know, so just in case they want to get in contact.
I do. If I feel the project, I'll get involved. I don't really advertise myself, but people are asking, I feel the project, I get involved. How would you contact me? Be waynebaptiste@hotmail.co.uk. Yeah.
Man, it's actually giving out email addresses.
Oh, sure.
Standard.
Because it's
That's how you do
1990s.
No, that's how you do business.
Yeah.
Email address is business.
Like I told you, I'm grown, innit?
You know when a man whips like that at hotmail.co.uk or
Yeah, I know,
Hotmail,
I
you know,
know.
they've been around for
What was
a while.
your one? Is it Hotmail?
Yeah.
Right.
They've been around for a
Standard.
while, bro.
Do you have an AOL account?
No.
You had to think about it.
No.
Vintage, boy.
Well, I'm on my broadband's on TalkTalk because it used to be AOL. That's
There
about
you
it.
go.
So
Are you still battery mans on Street Fighter?
Tekken mainly.
This is the only bastard I
Who's
need that
my
can beat
man
me
on
on Street
Tekken?
Fighter like regularly.
Who's Killick? That's it. I was Killick.
Wayne is
Soul Calibur.
a very, 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 very big gamer.
So
Are you still into gaming? Yeah.
Yeah, not as much as I used to be, but yeah.
There's been many wars over Street Fighter. Boy.
What are you playing at the moment?
Tekken.
4.
Zelda.
6.
Mario Kart.
Tekken
7.
6 or 7.
Tekken
Yeah.
7.
Man said
Have
4.
you-
That's
have you
me
got
how
that-
behind I am. I'm like 4.
7. When they get to 7?
What's Soul Calibur?
There's a new Soul Calibur coming out.
Yeah, 6.
Soul
Mm.
Calibur was as Cervantes.
Yeah, Cervantes was a Soul Calibur.
Cervantes, yeah.
Yeah, with a sword, the
Yeah,
pirate.
yeah. Batman.
Mr. Wolf could not beat me on that game.
I tried, man.
What,
I'll
Soul
beat you a
Calibur?
couple times. Yeah.
Soul Calibur wasn't particularly good, but I was just around people that just weren't particularly
Soul
good.
Calibur was
Thing is that any computer game is boring as hell, man. It will just root you and do the same thing.
moves.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Man,
I never
Sliding
understand that complaint.
kick,
If someone
sliding
is
kick.
doing the same thing, they should be very easy to beat.
Nah, not with Stav.
Thank you.
It's like it's like he bores you to death.
Like Jose.
Yeah. He was just parking the bus.
Yeah, for
Sonic boom, come in, half moon kick. Sonic boom, come in, half moon kick. You jump in, half moon kick. Sonic boom. That's everything. Like, that's your day, it is.
Come in, I'll
But on the real, okay, you're playing somebody and you
Perfect.
see that they have some sort of set formula that they're using to beat you, and you can't
I'm a vigilante.
you can't overcome it. So you get upset with them for beating you.
I don't get upset with them for beating me.
But that's what
Do
you're
something-
boring.
Do something with flair, innit?
I'll just break
Be
your
proud of
fingers.
yourself, innit?
I don't
Why
have
does he
to.
need to do flair?
Just
Nah,
throw
be proud of
fireballs.
yourself, innit?
I have to
From-
win.
yeah, from-
You're playing your little brother.
You lying on your character lying on the floor at the end of the game is.
Nah,
enough
I
reason
can't
to
be proud of
feel pride.
myself. That's like having sex and just busting nut quick. Because it's efficient, you think that you're proud of yourself. You didn't do nothing in your day.
If you want to have a child, then that's the only thing. But if you're trying to please a woman, it's a different story. But I'm not trying to please you. I'm pleasing myself.
What's wrong with quick sex? I don't get it.
Nah, efficient quick sex is not pleasing to the woman all the time, unless it's efficient for her.
If it's a race to see who can bust first, then you should be proud of yourself.
That's true, actually.
When is it that though?
When isn't it that? Huh? When is it that? Competition always.
What are you saying?
When is it
She
enough?
said, when is it that?
The time to bust first.
Oh. The song from this from the Fits is
Didn't you say from Annihilation?
Nobody cares about that song.
it's called it's a wicked song. It's called Aurora and it's by an artist called Kiah Victoria, Kiah Victoria, and yeah, that's it.
End the
She's
podcast.
got a lot of good music. All right, so thank you all for listening in. Email Wayne by all means. Get dust off your email and check him out. You can find us all at.
Lower your modem.
You can. You know what? People don't know about modems.
I don't know.
You know, I was listening to that Drake lyric. What's it about? ODB, got your money.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking most of the people listening to this song don't know what he's on about.
No.
I don't know what the fuck you're on about.
The
End the
Drake
podcast,
song where he
man.
says, I'm like ODB, I got your money. They won't know what he's on about.
I got blood issues. That is.
You can find us collectively at ESN Podcast on all your social medias. On Facebook, you can search for Eloquently Saying Nothing. Hit us up there. You can email us also at esnpodcast@gmail.com for any long form questions, comments, or if you want any advice. Obviously, we have tons of couples coming on now, so they can help you out. For you single people in your mid-40s that have failed in life and still raving and looking for somebody, we care about you as well. Use the hashtag ESNPod. That's ESNPod when you holler at us on social media to connect with us. We will find it and respond to you. Thank you very much for listening. Peace and goodbye.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you ain't saying nothing, say it well.
Slag for life.
Don't eat white rice. It's racist.
What's your credit score?
My credit. I'm trying to improve my credit score. Actually, from the end of May,
Did I tell you? I worked with somebody and they said that they're looking to buy a house and they said their credit score was in, I think, the 300s. And they went to the financial person, whatever that was happening like, and said, "Oh, you got a mark on your credit." And it's like, from what? And they apparently it was from Orange, like 6.5 years ago, where you owed £12 or something when they closed in their account. So he said he's gonna pay it off. She's like, "Well, you can, but there's no point because it runs out in 7, so just leave it." So he told me this week. Spoke to him. It had come off, and then he went from 300 something the next day to over 900.
You joking?
Straight. So that
looking
that
forward to that.
£112, £18, yeah. The day after it came off, it went up 600 points. Peak.
Should we get bougie in the crew and we accept people that
You have to be moody like that, man. When man's trying to pay for dinner, I'm like, you can't pay for your dinner. Your credit score's too low.
Do you know what? Well, that's the Black Mirror business. Do you watch Black Mirror? You have to watch Black Mirror.